bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome and happy Thursday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news and pop culture. So that's a show for you. Definitely stick around for all the tea we have coming up for you on this here show. If you can please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I was going to come on time, but I forgot I need to put my hat on. I need a haircut, basically. So that's why the hair looking a little messy. And I ain't trying to show that to y'all. So of course, if you've seen in the little photo that I have up, you already know we're going to break down the Oscars. The nominations came out this morning because if the Razzies came out the day before, the Oscars are going to come out the next day. Plus, we got to talk about Emilia Pérez's Karla Sofía Gascón making history. Robert Pattinson is responding to the fans still claiming that Twilight ruined vampire movies. We got an update on Fast X. It's going to be movie heavy today. We got an update on Fast X Part 2. Vin Diesel was speaking out. Well, he spoke out earlier today. Sarah Michelle Gellar said something that I'm like, girl, would you stop? She says she needs a whole lot of plastic surgery to play Buffy. Girl, you're fine. But we'll break that down. Alien Romulus, there's a rumor floating around that Sigourney Weaver could be reprising her role as Ripley, but a de-aged Ripley. Wendy Williams' conservatorship, we got some good news on that. Plus, Billy Ray Cyrus's son Trey said that he and his sisters are genuinely worried about their father, especially after that horrible ass performance he did at the inauguration ball. He performed for Trump, was a mess, not surprising, and the family is worried. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Carrie Underwood, like we talked about her. It's funny how I posted this Carrie Underwood thing up on my YouTube, and I saw that it just blew up real quick. I had a lot of comments, a lot of responses, all that other stuff. And now, after they were saying that she threw a damn hissy fit, the Daily Mail did released her list of demands for the inauguration performance. After she threw that said hissy fit. Now, speaking of hissy fits, now we got Bussy MadAzz tap dancing behind, running around here trying to beg Trump to dismiss his gun charge and said that he's been targeted because he's a black man. Trav, you don't get off my line with that foolishness. Diddy filing defamation suits. I knew that was coming. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17 Queen Lucky Starzzz. I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but they were saying that she is the drag daughter of Nina Bonina Brown. Hence why when you see a lot of her fashion, her drag designs and all that other stuff, it very much is crafty. And I know a lot of people like to use crafty in such a negative way, but she's a crafty queen. The good kind, they use construction thing, not being crafty like you stealing, doing all other mess. But so she's clarifying her relationship with Nina Bonina Brown. Like, what's their relationship in regards of, is that her drag mother's not her drag mother's? She the drag daughter, all the other stuff. Plus, I've been teasing all about this week because I was in the past couple of episodes, but because I've been looking, I've been searching, but I found it. So I got all the winners of the GayN Awards. So we're gonna go from the Oscars to the Man on Man Hunting Awards. So that's what we do over here. We go from the posh upper echelon award shows to talking about rhymes with porn stars and them getting their awards because they got their awards earlier this week. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Plus, if there's any other breaking news throughout the show. But as I said before, if you can, for those more people are starting to come into the room, because that's why I always break the stuff down so that way everybody's aware that I'm online. If y'all can't hear me, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell, please and thank you. Hit my banner. I see people already in the comments. Onyx is here, said the Oscar nominations rooting for Demi, Ari, Timothy. And, that all rhymes. Demi, Ari, Timothy, and everything the substance is nominated for. But yeah, we're definitely going to break down the Oscars. Emilia Pérez is getting chill. Them and Glad can go suck the shit out my ass with a goddamn straw. It's funny. It's not even 5 minutes into the show and I'm already cussing. But we're going to break all that down because, A lot of you organizations, y'all get on my goddamn nerves. And the more that I've been around, the older I get, I'm starting to realize that a lot of these organizations are more harmful than helpful. The Glads. What was the other the organization that was out here talking about that Elon Musk didn't do the Hitler salute? Mind you, you're a Jewish organization, but we know that you're more in debt to Israel than actual Jewish people that are in America and worldwide. You only pledge allegiance to the white Jews and that sort of thing. That's what it gives me when it comes to the gay organizations. A lot of y'all are for the white gays. You're for, and that's it. But y'all try to act like y'all are all inclusive. That's why I always I get a side eye to a lot of these corporations because y'all all about the donors and the money and all that other stuff. Y'all really don't give a shit about us regular folk. So they could hate all they want. I said Glenn might have been onto something. Yeah, because people feel like they don't like the portrayal of Emilia Perez's character. But because it's a trans actress. I don't know if she wrote the part, though. I have to look into that. Brandon thinks Ryan. I mean, quiet as it's kept. I kind of always got a gay vibe from Ryan Reynolds. And Hugh is a closet power top that him and Ryan Hunch, I'm sure they was fucking. I mean, quiet as it's kept. I've heard tea about how Hugh Jackman likes to have sex with his male co-stars, allegedly. So, I do believe that a lot of that stuff was going on. First of all, I saw that mess that you went up here posted. Let me look for it, because not because what was it? She posted a whole citation, and then we'll get into the show about Candace Owens did like a whole damn thread, and I don't particularly like that lady, but she was on to something. Let's go to her because it was like a carousel of tea she was spilling. So what she said. She said, yesterday, child, let's read it all. She said, yesterday I received a tip from someone who allegedly worked on the set of It Ends With Us. Lately, everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain on this saga is dun, 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 Ryan Reynolds. Well, we all knew that queen was a damn problem. I mean, don't even get me started on the beef that he allegedly had with I think the director of the first Deadpool. Was it Tim Miller or something or another? I think there was something that went on behind the scenes and he got him fired off the movie. I think it was Deadpool 2, he got him fired off of. They said this person is alleging that everything started when Ryan Reynolds decided to stroll onto the movie set one day and review the dailies. This is an industry term for all the footage that, I was gonna say, who don't know that? Of course I know it, but yeah, dailies is basically if you film some stuff throughout the day, he wants to look over it. Number one, sir, you're not the director, the producer, the writer, all the other stuff on this film. I don't know why your ass need to be on set to be looking over what the dailies are. That I don't get, but let's continue. They said he then decided to take a look at the script, and between the two, something allegedly set him off. The person claims, and I cannot verify, that the production assistants then overheard Ryan and Blake having an argument in her trailer. Ryan Reynolds started being on the set on a regular basis as if he were if he were her chaperone, and that is when he started inserting himself into the actual production, including writing lines, which is what a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about on the show has been coming out, especially from Justin Baldoni. He's been out here saying that in the lawsuit that Ryan Reynolds was asserting himself, and she tried to cloak it as, oh, he was giving me the courage to speak my opinion. I'm like, bitch, you a grown ass woman. You don't have that wherewithal in the backbone, and you've been acting for how long? Since before Jesus replaced sign language. So how is it all of a sudden Ryan Reynolds gave you the courage and the strength to get up there and demand or ask for certain things on set? I'm like, huh? That's what your fucking union rep is for. Like, what are y'all paying unions if they're not gonna have your back in certain situations if there's things going on set that is making you uncomfortable? I don't know why your husband was there, but okay. But anyway, let's continue. They said the next part is what has been alleged via their lawsuits. Ryan and Blake, perhaps in response to husband's anger, began inserting themselves in an effort to change lines and change scenes. But it gets better. It's clear Ryan was determined to humiliate and win against Justin Baldoni. He went so far as to include lines in his separate movie Deadpool and Wolverine about having an intimacy coordinator on set and making fun of Justin Baldoni's feminism in his podcast, which is hilarious coming from Ryan Reynolds when he gives me full-on faggot when I look at him. So I don't know how you running around here trying to make feminist jokes or try to say he's sensitive or being feminine when, child, the minute you open your mouth it look like 8 designer purses done fell out. So I don't know how he running around with this shit. This is the cackle for me. But anyway, let's continue. You know, I always gotta throw a read in as I go through it. I gotta give you commentary in real time. So Rose said, oh, so, and that was with the whole nice pool thing. That's that whole allegation. They said, this is what Justin's team is alleging. I looked at the evidence and I think it's undeniably true. Also, this is not the first time Ryan Reynolds has used his character to humiliate someone he didn't like. More evidence on that later. But Ryan then allegedly presented an ultimatum to WME, the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, whose client roster include everyone from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni. They said, it's us or it's him, paraphrasing Ryan's alleged ultimatum to WME. And then it says, so it was him, Blake Lively, and oh, did we mention our bestie is Taylor Swift sort of situation, allegedly. The source for this is a different source that would definitely know. I would imagine having Taylor Swift as your best friend and godmother to your children, perhaps in these sort of situations. Here's what happened next. So then they pull up, well, damn. So they say, guilty until proven innocent. Justin Baldoni dropped by WME. And you know what? Let me pull this up so y'all can actually see what I'm looking at. Wait, no, not that. This is like a full-on slide chair. Slide, slippity slide. Damn, how did I all of a sudden, I'm like, did I all of a sudden forget how to show y'all what I'm looking at? Okay, so there it is. Let me take this out. So yeah, that was one of the things. Justin Baldoni dropped by WME in wake of Blake Lively's sexual harassment allegations. That's and this is like all of this stuff is coming up, and then that's when she put guilty until proven innocent, which seems to be the ongoing theme in a lot of situations, whether it's politics, whether it's Hollywood, whether it's whatever. It always seems to be that. And then they say, looks like Khaleesi's Dragons won until what Ryan Reynolds did not apparently account for was someone bigger or perhaps maybe just richer than Taylor Swift who got unfairly dragged by his jealous bender. Wayfair Studios had effectively been instantly blackballed, persona non grata in Hollywood instantly, and truly they had done nothing wrong, just cast a woman in one of their movies with an allegedly very jealous husband. My source says that Justin Baldoni is legitimately a good guy who truly wanted to do this project, but he cares deeply about women's issues. Wayfair Studios was meant to be a feel-good family movie studio. Wayfair Studios is backed by Steven Sarowitz, a super liberal billionaire who is at the point of his life when he just wants to do good. I'm sure he donates to a ton of causes that I hate, but whatever. That's not the point of the story. And you want to know something? I got to give her accolades for that. It's like usually when it comes to Kunda Owen, she make my damn teeth itch. But with some of the bullshit she likes to say on her show or whenever I don't watch her show, but I watch other pundits, like progressive pundits, who will pull up some of the stuff she says every now and again when they want to call her out on her damn buffoonery, going up against her own damn people or sometimes the LGBTQs. But in this situation, I like the fact that he was like, I'm sure he probably donated to a ton of causes that I hate, but whatever, not the point of the story. So it was like, yeah, she had to throw that dagger up in there. But it's like, yeah, that's not the point. But let's get to it. And you know what? On the other hand, I actually like the idea that we have a super liberal billionaire, because what we're dealing with in this current climate of oligarchs and robber barons and these other people who are beholden to, Emperor Palpatine, who's already on his third day of just, or fourth day of just turning this country into a pile of shit. When we're in this situation, I like the fact that we actually have someone in here who's got billions of dollars who's like, at the end of the day, he's done a lot. Now he just wants to do good with his money instead of hoarding. Because guess what? When y'all died, you can't be buried with them billions. So I like that part. Now let's continue. They said, how much money we talking? Now, the city's newest billionaire doesn't plan to die. Something I'm just talking about that eventually y'all can be die. You can't be buried with your money. And then this post come up. So they said Paylocity founder Steve Sarowitz and his wife Jessica plan to give $1 billion to charity during their lifetimes and shutter the family foundation when they die. Look at y'all doing good deeds. So it goes to show that, you know what? Not all billionaires are evil. Just Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and all the other morons that decide to line themselves up and be grifters for you know who. When y'all could be taking them billions that y'all have and y'all can cure homelessness and world hunger. Well, not even world hunger. We ain't got to worry about the world. We need to worry about the fact that we got starving motherfuckers in America at this point before we can start outsourcing that money to other people. But so then anyway, let's continue. So they said, same Steve, can't wait to casually give away $1 billion before I die too. That's the goal. So they said, anyways, Wayfair Do Good Studios being blacklisted because Ryan Reynolds is acting fake and gay likely didn't sit with him. Here's what I think likely happened. In my opinion, Ryan Reynolds is grossly insecure. Yes, he is, because welcome to Hollywood, a lot of those actors in there are immensely insecure. So that's not news, but he's giving me very that. And that was kind of like what I was picking up throughout this campaign well, no, not campaign, but this whole drama surrounding this case, that it just sounds like it's a jealous ass husband. And she's putting up with it. But then again, you know what? With her being such a see you next Tuesday, according to a lot of things that was going allegedly from her years of being on set and being a nightmare to work with, you reap what you sow, sis, because you call that energy into your own situation. So they said this in part motivated by the fact that he dates and married women that are at least over a decade younger than him. How many times has Ryan Reynolds? Wait, didn't he date Scarlett Johansson at one point? She said, correction, almost a decade. He met, oh yeah, so he did. I was like, I could have sworn that he dated her. But anyway, they said he met Scarlett when she was just 20. He was 28. Then they got married and then divorced. She came very close to saying that it didn't work out because of, well, his jealousy. And I'm glad that she moved on to Colin Jost because, one, he's way funnier than Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds tries too damn hard, and he irritates me at times. It's like, yeah, you were born to play Deadpool, but outside of that, your acting has always been subpar. Unless you was doing like, what was it, Van Wilder, one of those movies that he did. So then they said, talking to Cosmo, ScarJo, without naming any names, said, the logistics of being with another actor are challenging. There has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people careers are going at the same rate, or even if one person is more successful than the other. That also proves challenging. There may be a competitive thing. That's all the explanation you're ever going to get from ScarJo on this one. But since she's currently with an art dealer, well, she's not dating the art dealer. Now she's with Colin Jost, like I said, from SNL. They said, and they have children together. We assume she's not talking about her current relationship and most likely about the 3 years she spent married to Reynolds, who is, as you may know, an actor. So there's that evidence. Come on with the receipts, Kundis. So then we went on to say, with all this information, when you reflect on just how much Ryan inserted himself into the film and his weird pattern of acting, his personal frustrations out, the following clip is going to be really weird. Ryan did this to help promote It Ends With Us, and he brought in another A-lister, Hugh Jackman. Now imagine being Justin Baldoni in the midst of all the drama that we now know was happening behind the scenes. Blake's husband then decides to create a funny skit with another one of his A-list buddies to promote your film. As I said, this was about humiliation. Ryan Reynolds has been accused of this sort of, shall we call it, character abuse in the past. In other words, he pretends he's acting, but he's not really acting at all. Let's take a look at what a Deadpool actor had to say about him. Final thought, I think Ryan Reynolds is unhinged. I think Blake was fine with everything in the movie she signed on for, hence not requesting an intimacy coordinator. And then all that changed the day her husband showed up on set and allegedly blew a fuse. Ryan maybe sensed real chemistry between them on camera when he reviewed the dailies, and he felt insecure because, well, Ryan Reynolds himself tends to fall in love on set. It's how he met, but well, that's usually what it is with acting. And quiet as it's kept, let's also not bring up, or shall we, bring up Blake's history. She has dated her co-stars in the past when she has worked on movies and television. So he knows what that world is like. It's like, yeah, when you're working 14 to 16 hours for 3 months on a movie, sometimes you do fall in love with your co-star. Just like I'm sure he probably fell in love with Hugh Jackman when it was on set, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. So then it said he tried to peacock Justin Baldoni, who was objectively more... Child? Well, let's be honest. Justin Baldoni is hot. It's the dark curly hair, the tallness. He's got that a little body hair, the chiseled good looks. I can totally understand why Ryan Reynolds' dorky looking ass would be insecure. So then they said that where am I? Oh. So they said by injecting himself into every layer of the movie, from the script to the promos, and reminding Justin who the A-lister is. That is why Ryan was there every step of the way, and I sense it was him that demanded Justin be put in the basement for the premiere. Blake, in my view, was not discomforted by Justin, but by her husband, and she had to pretend to see things his way. This situation has now spiraled out of control, and at the center of it is small man Ryan Reynolds with a fragile ego. Feels appropriate at the end to end this by saying, "You know you love me, XOXO, Gossip Girl." Okay, that was pretty funny. So, as I know the Gossip Girl read, but that was a cackle. So yeah, that's basically the tea that we got on that situation, and I'm cackling because I'm like, girl, this is what you putting away. And to me, it's like, oh look, if your husband is this type of person that wants to control every aspect of your life and is so immensely insecure that you're not happy, then ma'am, you need to divorce him. But I feel like in this point, because this legal case has gotten so big, I really don't see Blake Lively trying to slither herself out of that situation. I think she's just gonna stay with his ass and be just as miserable for the rest of her damn life because they got all them damn children. She just had a baby not too long ago. So I think while she was busy breastfeeding while she was filming this movie. So she just had a baby and she's got all these kids with him. And now Ryan Reynolds running around being insecure. But sir, you need to figure all that mess out. But whether or not that was true, and for some reason, based over the tea that she had and she was putting in her stories, I kind of believe it. But then again, you already know the way I've been talking about this case on this show, I have basically been pretty much Team Justin on this. I think maybe we were so blinded by the overall misogyny of it all because some people were saying like, oh, well, y'all just going to have to reach and believe women, believe women, believe women. But if in that case, it's a believe woman type of situation, she's pulling all this stuff because her husband was the one that was pulling the strings behind the scenes, then that is a problem. That he's been out here making his wife the mascot for all the bullshit when the whole time it was him that was feeling a way about this whole situation. And if that's how Ryan Reynolds is going to be running around and acting, then sir, maybe you need to just not have Blake making movies no more. But if you thinking you're going to be able to control her and tell her that she can no longer be an artist because you have a jealous streak and you're a deeply insecure man baby, then I don't know how long this marriage is going to last. So I say, well, let's say, what y'all think of this story that I had to come out? This wasn't part of the docket, but I just had to, I was like, ooh, I feel like now that it was brought up, I was like, I want to inform y'all on the latest tea that's being spilled that I had some access to. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Oh yeah, I did read that one. It's all Ryan and a billionaire Hayden. He's got dragged, and Justin was okay with being canceled. No, he should. Well, Justin shouldn't be okay being canceled because if he did not, if he didn't do anything wrong, then I would not stand on somebody trying to basically destroy my livelihood in my career. If I'm doing something that I absolutely love and I didn't do anything, and all of a sudden some asshole wants to come in and starts flexing his muscle, as in monetary muscle, because he ain't got no actual muscle. I mean, except for when you looked at him in Deadpool and Wolverine, but Hugh Jackman had the real muscles. Ryan was in good shape, but if you're gonna be doing all of that and just coming in and trying to ruin my livelihood because I can't help that I'm attractive and I got this good movie and you want to come in and start changing up stuff because you don't like what's happening and you ruining my damn movie, It's gonna be a problem. I'm not letting you. I don't give a damn how much money you got. But whatever. I will get to. Um, I will get to a lot of your other comments later, but let's keep the show going. Let's get to our first topic. Let's talk about these Oscars, because I saw a lot of the comments was on the Oscars, and I'm like, I'll address it afterwards. So yes, the 2025 Oscars were unleashed this morning. I didn't get up until I got up late. So I got up around 11 o'clock this morning. I was just tired for some reason. I don't know what was going on, but I got up late. I had people flooding my inbox with stuff regarding the Oscars. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot the Oscars was out. And we talked about it yesterday. So I had to get up. I was doing a bunch of other stuff. Then it was, I had to put the show together. So it was a lot going on. But nevertheless, the Oscar nominations is out, and we have some nominees, and we're going to talk about the snubs. So the nominations for the 97th annual Oscars were revealed this morning. Excuse me. And the major takeaway is this heralds the most wide open awards race we have witnessed in years, according to Deadline. So a far cry from last year when Oppenheimer expectedly dominated the proceedings. This time, the race for Best Picture features a class of wildly different, audaciously ambitious films. Emilia Pérez, the musical about a Mexican cartel leader who fakes his death and undergoes a gender transition, but cannot avoid the people in her former life, leads all nominations with 13, including Best Picture, the most by a non-English language film in Oscar history. Now, also up for top prize is Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Now, one of the things I want to talk about before we get to the rest of them, we got to talk about Dune Part 2. I'm tired of y'all playing in Denis Villeneuve's face. First of all, why y'all keep like snubbing him as best director? Look, I don't remember. I got to look and see what was he actually nominated for in this whole situation. But yeah, I don't like the fact that y'all snubbed him. I don't even think he was nominated for Best Picture. He wasn't nominated for Best Director. Um, but and one of the people that said that they're actually going to quit acting because y'all keep playing in his face, Josh Brolin posted something where he was like, I'm gonna quit acting because y'all keep playing in that man's face. And I'm with him. Well, first of all, I don't want you to quit acting. I love Josh Brolin, but y'all need to stop playing in his face. Y'all will sit and lick Christopher Nolan's taint. He could make a 3-hour movie with water dripping in a fucking sink, and y'all will give him an Oscar nomination and a multitude of Oscar nominations, and he'll win them all. But Denis Villeneuve, y'all keep playing in his damn face, and y'all pissing me off. And I'm not. That's no shade towards Chris Nolan because I'm a Chris Nolan fan too. But the way y'all be treating Denis in a lot of the movies, and he's made a lot of great films. I can't, off the top of my head, think of one movie that was terrible that he ever made. But y'all keep playing in his face because we already know probably when the Odyssey come out next year, y'all gonna be up in there talking about 50 million damn Oscar nominations. So yeah, I wanted to just bring that up. Go on my little Denis rant. Justice for Denis rant. So now Wicked got 10 nominations, including for its star Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, which I pretty much figured was going to happen. Tying in for second most overall with Brady Corbet's sweeping The Brutalist, which got nominations for Adrian Brody, Guy Pearce, and Corbett for directing. Now, I don't know how many people was able to sit through The Brutalist because they said that movie's almost 4 hours. Like, who has the time to sit through that long ass one? Now I want to see it, but I'll probably watch it when it comes out on streaming or whatever. Now, Conclave and A Complete Unknown drew 8 nominations each, while Palme d'Or winner Anora had 6, and the Wild Horror Tale The Substance drew 5, including Demi Moore's first nomination after she won the Golden Globe. The Substance's director Coralie Fargett was also nominated. Now, this is the shock for me because I'm actually surprised that the Oscar snobs actually nominated The Substance because it's a horror film. But I get that the angle that they're probably going to go for where they'll excuse it because, they'll find reasons to excuse things if they want to be a part of the situation. They'll still thumb their nose up in horror films. Justice for the Many Horror Girls, like Toni Collette in Hereditary or Lupita Nyong'o in A Quiet Place Part 2, my girl Keke Palmer in Nope. We got, so there's been so many girls over the years who have given us outstanding performances in horror films. Oh, and let's not forget Naomi Scott and Smile too. The way y'all just played in our face and didn't even nominate her, and she ate that role. But I guess because it's with music, it's not about the industry, film, and all other stuff. They probably wouldn't do that, or maybe it's just too on the nose with horror. But when you do the substance, which I absolutely love, by the way, this is no shade to the substance. It's just my overall the hypocrisy of the industry when they want to pick and choose what they want to nominate in the horror genre, or when they want to respect the horror genre, or they want to call it a thriller or something else, like they did with Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is a horror damn movie, but they try to flip it where it's like, oh no, it's a psychological thriller. I'm like, no, it's not. Because if that's the case, you should have nominated Long Legs. Because some people saying that movie should have been nominated too, but then I've heard mixed reviews on Long Legs. I still haven't gotten around to seeing that yet. So yeah, I'm glad The Substance was nominated. I'm here for Demi Moore getting it, but I get it. It's because she was playing someone who was in the industry and she's being aged out for the younger, hotter version of what she was giving for decades. And that feeling of like, if you have the opportunity to have the younger part of yourself exist and do all the things you was able to do, but y'all just trade off, would you be able to do it? But then, of course, greed and all that other stuff sets in. So I get the overall theme of why it was nominated, and I'm hoping that Demi wins because that was such a good performance. Y'all already know I've been championing for The Substance since the movie actually came out, and then when it was like award season and everything was being announced, I was so team Demi in it. I'm like, they better nominate her for this movie. So then they also said of that lot, the directors of Frontrunners, Conclave, Edward Berger, and Wicked John 2 did not get nominated. So yeah, they overlooked the director of Wicked and they overlooked the director of Conclave. But here's the thing, Conclave was another movie that was pretty good. I saw it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's basically about a bunch of, priests who have to vote on the next pope. So if y'all have not seen that movie, definitely check it out because it's a lot of talking, but there's a lot of drama and stuff. So it's not like you're gonna see men of the cloth with guns and shooting. You're not gonna see that, but it's just like an intense drama. So now, Beyond the Substance, perhaps the biggest surprise was nominations for Jeremy Strong and Sebastian Stan for the Ali Abbasi directed The Apprentice. So yeah, while we got Lord Voldemort in office, destroying the country in less than a damn week, start wars with Mexico and basically declaring war on them and calling drug cartels in Mexico terrorists so that way you get permission to drop bombs on Mexicans. Yeah, that's coming. I'm surprised this movie was in the zeitgeist or in the circles of Hollywood that they're even acknowledging it. So they said, while their work was universally lauded, Strong and Stan seem marginalized by all the struggles the makers of The Apprentice had with cease and desist threats from Lord Voldemort, who reviled his coming-of-age story when the young wannabe real estate mogul was taken under the wing of polarizing lawyer Roy Cohn, that homosexual, in the 70s. Now, past Oscar winners Nicole Kidman, Baby Girl, Angelina Jolie, Maria, and Jamie Lee Curtis, The Last Showgirl, found themselves on the outside looking in this morning, as did Gladiator 2's Denzel Washington, who was told by our outgoing president Joe Biden that he was a shoo-in for another Oscar when presented with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Well, from what I haven't seen Gladiator 2 yet, I know it's on Paramount Plus, but from what I heard, it was like you wasn't really given enough to even be getting the Oscar nomination. So I probably wouldn't even agree. But then again, Joe Biden got that good old dementia, allegedly, so I'm not listening to him talking about he a damn shoo-in. Oh Lord, don't even get me started on some of his policies that irritated my spirit. Just stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to being, a bitch for Israel. Just keep doing that. But then, oh no, you ain't gonna do that anymore because you're not the president. So they're gonna let the new one do it. Now, both supporting actor categories were stacked with and only 5 making the lightning round. Now, also snubbed by the Academy was Pamela Anderson, who fans were quite upset that she wasn't nominated for Best Actress in The Last Showgirl, as well as Zendaya for her performance in Challengers. Also snubbed by the Academy, Selena Gomez, Queer, I saw the TV Glow, Will and Harper. That's the documentary about Will Ferrell and his trans friend, and the Irish comedy Kneecap. So those are the ones that was overlooked. And then they said the noms come at an apex of another Wow Movie Award season and began in earnest as far as back as May, when movies like eventual showrunners Emilia Pérez, Honora, and The Substance made their splashy debuts at Cannes, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I'm not really mad about this. I would have liked to have seen, and I will say this, I would have liked to have seen Pamela Anderson get a nomination. I mean, I'm glad that she's been circulating in a lot of the elite circles, that the Golden Globes acknowledge her, that she's been getting all these looks everywhere else. Hopefully she gets I don't remember, did the SAG Award nominations come out? I think they did. So any of the other prestigious awards, I'm hoping that she gets nominated and she walks away with something. But I'm glad people are talking about her, and now she's kind of being taken seriously, and she can start playing in a lot of these big elite circles in regards of like people taking her seriously as an actor. So I'm glad that she's getting it. And you know what? Even though quiet as it's kept, I love you, Jamie Lee Curtis. But Angela Bassett should have got that Oscar. I just don't feel like the part You Did Everything Everywhere All at Once triumphed what Angela Bassett gave in Black Panther. So you got your Oscar. It was cute. Enjoy that one. But you wasn't going to get it, even though some people said that she ate her role in the last Showgirl. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe the fact of the matter is that, you know what, sometimes a lot of times the Oscars don't get it right, if you want to be honest, when it comes to who they want to give awards to. And then, like I always said, Whoopi Goldberg should have got her Oscar for The Color Purple, but y'all snubbed her, but y'all give it to her for being the comedy relief in Ghost, which I love the movie. But yeah, I felt like that was just, oh yeah, we fucked up. We should have gave it to her then. But anyway, so let's get through some of the nominations. We can wrap this up. So Oscar nominations: Best Picture, Honora, and shout out to Mikey Madison, because they said we got two Ghostface actually that were nominated for an Oscar. Her and Laurie Metcalf were nominated for Oscars this year, I believe. So yeah, we have Honora, which is from Neon, The Brutalist, A24, A Complete Unknown from Searchlight, Conclave Focus Features, Dune Part 2, Warner Brothers, Emilia Pérez, Netflix, I'm Still Here, Sony Pictures Classics, Nickel Boys, Orion Pictures, Amazon, MGM Studios, The Substance, which is from Mubi, and Wicked from Universal. Now, actor in a leading role: Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo, shout out to a fella homosexual for getting a nomination. I don't think he's going to win. I would like to see him win, but I'm glad that he's being nominated. So Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes in Conclave, Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. The actress in the leading role: Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Karla Sofía Gascón in Emilia Pérez, Mikey Madison in Honora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here. Well, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one because I like all the actresses in here. But if I really wanted somebody to win, no shade, I wanted to go to Demi, because she's an icon in the industry. And they already know, like, that would be the big moment. I mean, I would love Karla to get it, because that would be history in the making, and we could own the conservatives and also thumb our nose up at the uppity, LGBTs with their little groups that are upset with their little pitchforks that she wasn't nominated. So I would like her to get it on that. But now they have actor in a supporting role: Yura Borisov in Honora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, which I gotta see that movie too, because that's on, I think that they just dropped it on Hulu. That's a movie that what is it? What is his name? The one that played Lex Luthor in Man of Steel. And he also played Mark Zuckerberg. So he directed it, A Real Pain. So Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, I forgot he was in that. He plays Bob Dylan's father. Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. Then we have actress in a supporting role: Monica Barbaro in A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande in Wicked, Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, and Zoe Saldana in Emilia Pérez. Now, for what I heard, they were like, this was going to be a hard one for them. And this is why I thought that they weren't going to really nominate Ariana and Cynthia because it's weird. From what I heard, they said like I haven't seen the movies. So I don't know how long they're on the screen together, but from what I was hearing, was like Ariana has more screen time than Cynthia Erivo. So how is it that she's a supporting actress in that category? But whatever, that's what y'all know. From what I hear, in part two, Cynthia Erivo has more of a prominent role. So that's just bizarre, but whatever. How y'all decide to do the nomination, that's how y'all decide to do it. Now, directing, it goes Honora, Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Brady Corbett, A Complete Unknown, James Mangold, Emilia Pérez, Jacques Audiard, and The Substance, Coralie Fargett. Writing, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Pérez, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing, and those are your nominees. So we're not going to go through all of these because we will be here all day and I don't want to bore y'all to death. So yeah, that is what we have so far in regards of your Oscar nominations. So I ask you, are you excited for who we have listed as nominations? Who would you have liked to have seen that nominated that was snubbed? From what I was hearing, I was like, I was completely shocked that they snubbed Queer. Um, and then I saw an article, I think it was on Variety, where they were asking, does Hollywood have a sex problem? Because a lot of the movies, particularly the one that Nicole Kidman is in, and Challengers, and Queer, which deals with sexuality in different manifestations and forms, were snubbed. So they were asking, does Hollywood have a sex problem? But we would have these conversations. Well, I've had these conversations in private where I don't know, is it a Gen Z situation? But I don't. They're not the ones that's voting. It's the Academy. So is Hollywood trying to shy away from sex? Like you're making movies when you're including it in it, but when it comes down to award season, are y'all kind of shying away from those things because of the overall how people are perceiving it? I mean, we're human, don't we all fuck? So I mean, those of us who was of age should be, not you underage ones. Y'all need to wait till y'all of age to start, opening your legs to whoever you want to open your legs to. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, we have comments. So you said Justice? Yes, I want. Pamela Anderson definitely should have gotten a nomination. Demi must win Best Actress. I agree. We definitely need Demi to win. Yeah, I've been so overwhelmed with a lot of MAGA stuff. These people are getting on my freaking nerves. Um, and my thing is that Megyn Kelly, you should be the last one to be out here talking about trans. She does anything for a click and attention. Meanwhile, why is it always white women with strong jaws always got something to say about the trans community? J.K. Rowling. Like y'all all, two sides of the same damn tight ass bird. So fuck her. It said Demi was amazing, was a little bummed. Pamela Anderson and Jamie Lee Curtis were nominated for The Last Showgirl. Really nice performances. I want to check that movie out. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I saw a viral tweet about Karla terrible acting in a terrible movie. It wasn't even a conservative page or anything. It was a film updates account. Well, I have heard, look. So do you think that Emilia Pérez, I'm trying to find the words. Excuse me. Do you think Emilia Pérez is sort of like like the right word? Like a DEI or affirmative action vote? We're just sort of like we want to seem like we're so inclusive and progressive. So let's nominate this movie, even though like what you're saying here, because I've heard the same thing. That's kind of like why I haven't watched it. Even Kayla says kind of went in and was like the movie wasn't that great, but I mean, I like the overall theme that when you hired an openly trans actor to play a trans role, and the fact that it was like, yeah, I do like the idea of how you had someone who was in the Mexican cartel, started out as male, transitioned to be a female. I don't know if necessarily that was something they always wanted to do, and that was the opportunity for them to transition, was so that way they could escape their past. But then you realize, regardless of what gender you flip to, you cannot escape the things that you've done to the people to the past. So I get the overall theme of the movie. Now, in regards to the execution, I think that some people are saying that the movie didn't execute the idea behind what was going on in that whole situation. So they were talking about the acting wasn't that great. They were reading Selena Gomez for her horrible ass Spanish. I even had like friends of mine who's fluent Puerto Rican, fluent in Spanish, do not like English is their second language. They were like, and they didn't understand a damn word she was saying. And she said she only had a limited amount of time to learn Spanish, which in that case, if you're not good at speaking Spanish, then maybe you should have hired somebody who actually does speak good Spanish. And then when some of the songs I was hearing, um, the songs weren't like songs that are memorable and you could sing along to. Like if it's a musical, the songs are supposed to be memorable. Like for example, speaking of musicals, Wicked. It's popular as a song that you could sing, and it's got great melodies, it's got all this stuff. Defying Gravity, like those type of songs, those are memorable. Like if I'm watching Emilia Pérez and it's supposed to be a musical, and these songs are just not singable, then how's it get nominated? So it does, in a way, kind of feel like, you know, a DI vote. Hey, having to use the politics thing in there, but look, Hollywood decided to go political. Not only did you nominate The Apprentice, but you nominated this movie, and if it's not a good representation of the trans community, then I don't know. You know, a lot of people are just feeling away about something like that. It's like, go out and touch some grass, but whatever. I guess because the story revolves around the evil witch. I can't remember the name. She gets the main best actress win. Elphaba. They snubbed. They snubbed challenges. I wasn't too big on queer. I wasn't too big on queer. To me, the Omar Apollo was the big talk. Child, somebody sent that video to me this morning. I'm like, what am I looking? He said this is the best part of the movie. And funny enough, I posted it on my Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, because I would have got blocked or banned or something. I posted it on my Twitter. The full nude scene where Omar Apollo was in the room, takes off his clothes. You get the peen coming into the frame. Then you see Daniel Craig grabs them a handful of them cheeks too, and was giving him a baloney wash. I said, okay, look at Daniel Craig giving the best performance of his career. So yeah, it just seemed like the Omar Apollo scene. But from what people was telling me, they said that the movie's not that good. But like I said, I'll watch it. I'll probably just rent it because I'm not gonna buy it. Like if I'm not too sure about something, I'll rent it. And then I'm like, okay, one and done, it was good enough. Gen Z was bigger and more passionate about challengers, and Wicked didn't really see anyone my age talk about. Yeah, it don't seem like a lot of people was talking about it, except the gays, the gay blogs. Those are the only ones, and me. They're the ones that was talking about it. I also saw another viral tweet about challenges being shut out, being biphobic, being bi. I think you mean being biphobic. Well, was that the reason? But that's why I said, like, when you're talking about biphobic or biphobia, that's why I said, like, it does, like, I saw this article from the trades, and they were talking about, does Hollywood have a sex problem? So it's like anything that has to do with sex, even though, isn't Honora about sex? So I would say that in a way, it defeats the purpose. Isn't like Honora, she playing a hooker? I think that's what she's playing. But, um, but then when it came to all those other movies, like the movie with Nicole Kidman that she's getting rave reviews for, and then you have Challengers and all these other films that are being snubbed, people are saying like, yeah, Hollywood is like shunning from sex and awards. I'm like, well, people hunch. I don't know why y'all being all, a certain stand base is dragging Emilia Pérez as it's not Razzie nominated while their queen is. Yeah, little monsters are pissed that she's joining Madonna as a one-hit movie wonder. Wait, is Madonna a one-hit movie wonder? Because Evita was good, A League of Their Own was good, or are they trying to say a movie she led? But here's the thing: from what I heard, Lady Gaga's not that bad in the Razzies. I mean, in the Razzies, she's not that bad in Foley I Do. So I don't know why people getting all upset. It's the Razzies is not something you take seriously, but I guess because they hear awards, they literally lump it all in with the movie award, the MTV Movie Awards, the Oscars, the Grammys, all that other stuff. It's like the Razzies is all in fun. It's like y'all need to just relax. These damn fans on us. I dragged Little Boss to saying how's her music career in Europe because Madonna was able to thrive when erotica bombed in the States. Because I can't say that during art pop. Well, now it seems like everybody's giving justice for art pop. Was it like 10 years later? I want to watch The Apprentice, but it's very relevant. And I'm like, give me a few years. Okay. I'll be like $3.99. You think Daniel Craig is bisexual because he praised gay bars? But I mean, look, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I would I put it in my I would definitely sleep with Daniel Craig. There's something remotely sexy about that man. So he could probably be fluid. And he used to I remember hearing stories that he would hang out, and he talked about it, how he would hang out in gay bars and stuff, because it has an Oscar to her name. Meanwhile, child. Okay. Look, she got a Golden Globe. Don't cry for her, Argentina. I mean, the only one who almost did was Elton John, because he was seething in that seat. But look, y'all already know, if the rumor turns out to be true with her and Baz Luhrmann meeting up for the possibility that he's going to direct the biopic, she might finally get her Oscar. We know you being shady. You acting kind of shady. Ain't calling me baby. Why the sudden change? Anyway, now speaking of Emilia Pérez, let's move on and talk about her, or the actress that plays her, Karla Sofía Gascón, who just made history as being the first openly trans woman to be nominated for a Best Actress Oscar. So Gascón is recognized in the Best Actress category for her leading role in Jacques Audiard's musical Netflix film, Emilia Pérez, and this Academy acknowledgement comes on the heels of recent Golden Globe, SAG, and BAFTA nominations for Gascón's performance. Now, Emilia Pérez, Gascón stars a cartel leader who turns to Mexico City lawyer Rita, played by Zoe Saldana, to help her live as her authentic self. Selena Gomez stars as Emilia's wife Jessie, and Adriana Paz as Emilia's girlfriend Epifania. We can find out they got a whole situation going on up in here. So she got a wife and a girlfriend. Okay, daughter. So now, Gascón first made awards history with the role at Cannes when all four actresses shared the Best Actress award, with Gascón being the first openly trans actress to ever win the prize. Now, in October, Gascón discussed her feelings around representation in Deadline, saying, I represent obviously the minority that I represent, but I think that I represent a lot of the people in the world that want or need to be free. I'm talking about my colleagues, other actors that are coming up that started from the bottom and have been working for a long time and have felt that rejection and continue to work and continue to learn and continue to grow. I think that's maybe one of the very important groups of people that I represent. And I hope that I represent hope for my colleagues. Now, while Gascón will this year be the first out trans person to be Oscar nominated in an acting category, Elliot Page was nominated for Juno in 2008 before coming out as trans. Well, here's the thing. I don't think, how you going to put Elliot Page over there? Because it's like, first of all, Elliot was Ellen at the time and was nominated, but they identified as female then. So this is someone who has already been trans, that has since been out as trans, and is being nominated in the category. So I don't know why we had to even bring up Elliot Page in this conversation, but okay. So they also said the first openly trans person ever to be Oscar nominated was composer Angela Morley for The Little Prince in 1975, and then again for The Slipper and the Rose, The Story of Cinderella in 1978. It would take another 40 years for another openly trans person to be nominated. British musician Anoni was nominated for Best Original Song for Monterey from the documentary Racing Extinction in 2016. Then, in 2018, Yance Ford, who made the documentary Strong Island, became the first out trans director to be nominated. That same year, A Fantastic Woman, starring Chilean trans actress Daniela Vega, won the Best Foreign Language Film category. So, good on her for that. But I see like there's a lot of people who are not happy with her nomination. with Karla's nomination. And we saw like the snubation happen when we talked a little bit about that yesterday when I was going through the GLAAD Media Award nominations, and I had spoken about, just in passing, it's funny how this happened. It was like in passing while I was doing the show, I was mentioning because they were saying something, I'm like, so now y'all trying to act like y'all the litmus test for what is and what isn't considered trans good or proper trans representation? Because one of the things that I've always said about the queer community is we're not a monolith. So why do people always feel like, okay, so if a movie gets nominated, that it has to be like, you have to be somebody who lives this perfect lily white Mary Poppins type of life? And it's like, nobody's like that. Human beings are complex. They just so happen to be a part of the LGBTQ plus spectrum. So when these overlords in these corporations like a GLAAD or whatever start pushing this narrative, regardless of whether the movie is good or not, because art is subjective. I don't like the idea that y'all feel like the only time a trans person should be represented is that it has to be all these boxes that have to be checked. So that's kind of annoying to me when they did that. And it's funny how I was like, so y'all trying to act like y'all basically are the litmus test of what is and what is considered proper trans representation. And it's funny I said that because Michael Musto, who was on, I think, CBS this morning when they were going through the whole Oscars, posted this yesterday on his show. And it's funny because I guess while I was in the middle of doing my show, he posted on his. So he said on his Facebook, so he said, good for GLAAD for being a queer media watchdog and doing what they do. But I remember when they gave an award to Trans America starring cisgender Felicity Huffman as a trans woman, a part that trans actor Alexandra Billings later said was promised to her. I also remember me fighting with them when they attacked the indie movie Ticked Off Trannies with Knives. Oh, I saw that movie. A rollicking 2010 Grindhouse homage, partly because the trans characters were played by drag queens and they felt the characters came off that way, not as trans women. Well, I don't know if they know this, but do y'all know that there are a lot of drag queens who live their lives as trans women? The profession just happens to be drag queens. But let's continue. They said a trans GLAAD rep screamed at me on the street that trans people do not have cute names and perform for gay men. Excuse me? Candy Darling, Candace Kane, Peppermint Gummy Bear. Oh, that's her old name, Peppermint. She used to go by back in the day, like 12 years ago, when before the drag race stuff, she used to go by Peppermint Gummy Bear in the New York circle, and on and on. Which I'm like, do you not know drag queens? Because last time I checked, and I've said this, like the first time when I started going to drag clubs, I mean, not in, well, clubs that actually had drag queens in it. Like in New York, we had Karen Covergirl and all them other girls, and even Tyra Ross, which I knew her as Tyra Allure back in the day, who y'all know as Miss, Electra from Pose. Back in the day when I used to go to Two Potato and all them bars and clubs and things, and Tyra used to be up in there, all statuesque. It was like that was a trans woman who was doing drag and performing. So these people that they got over here at GLAAD, y'all need to go out and touch some damn grass because y'all are so out of touch with the community. So then he went on to say the rep was determined to tell me that a trans person could and couldn't, what a trans person could and couldn't be. She seemed underinformed and was mainly out to dictate unneeded restrictions on trans identity. In fact, plenty of people do drag and are trans at the same time. Go through the clubs at the time, and celebs like Amanda Lepore and Dina Delicious were trans women who also did drag. Absolutely. Because I remember seeing Amanda back at Twilight and all those clubs back in the day, coming off quite similar in spirit in the performances and ticked off. Yes, trans actors would have been closer to what they were playing in that film, but the queer actors used were terrific and certainly closer than any Desperate Housewife. Ooh, not the Desperate Housewives stray. They went on to say, when a trans writer chimed in with a critique on Ticked Off, writing on behalf of GLAAD that the trans characters don't fight against the psycho hater, I lost it. The whole movie is about their plot to get revenge. It's the most triumphant pro-trans movie in history. No, they don't fight back at first. He is armed, but they work out their plan anyway. The movie was tragically pulled because of the protest. Today, the GLAAD Awards did not give any nominations to Emilia Pérez, a great film which stars a historic trans female actor in the title role. Maybe they would have preferred Felicity Huffman. Again, I applaud what GLAAD does, and I'm glad they called upon trans commentators to dissect what they didn't like about Emilia Pérez. I disagree, but I'm not trans. See Emilia Pérez for yourself. Tomorrow, it will surely get a slew of Oscar nominations. And here we are today, where it did get a slew of Oscar nominations. So it's like, sometimes I feel like, to wrap this up, can be our own worst damn enemy. And I think we should just take our wins where we can. It's like, you know what? A win with Emilia Pérez being acknowledged within Hollywood circles opens the doors for more positive LGBTQ and even trans representation to get through the doors of Hollywood. So why they don't want to sit up in here and nitpick and gatekeep and bitch and moan about, well, it didn't have this, and how are you going to say this? Like, I can't even believe when I read this article from Michael, what he wrote, that the people actually believe that there's no trans, that there are no drag queens who also happen to be trans. Like, y'all think all people just walk around in dresses all day and then the trans people go home and take that shit off? No, there's a lot of trans people. And and that overall attitude, I think that's why they got RuPaul back in the day too. Because it's like, sir, you should have known working in these drag circles, like, yes, there are trans women who also perform and do drag. And if they had drag queens up in there, maybe they had genuine reason. Maybe they were cheaper to come by. Maybe they were better actors. I don't know why they picked what they picked. But nevertheless, the movie got made. The film was actually good. I like the idea about seeing trans people getting revenge against somebody who was, who did bad by them. Why not have that? Look, we got a grindhouse film with a queer tilt on it. So stop with the goddamn gatekeeping. Because like I said, y'all gonna be our own worst enemy. So I'll say this, regardless of how you feel about Emilia Pérez, whether or not it's a good or a bad movie, because like I said, cinema, art is subjective. So what I like, you might not like it, and that's fine. We should all have differences of opinion. But this is a win for Karla Sofía, an openly trans woman who was in a movie, who's finally being seen and is being acknowledged by the Academy. Now, should she get more roles after this? I'm fingers crossed, because, a lot of times when you get these minorities in certain places, they get all propped up by Hollywood, and they like to show you off like a shiny new toy. And then once the season's over, then you back to struggling. We've seen this happen to celebrities before. Hopefully that doesn't happen to her, but I'm rooting for her to walk away with something. Or at least, look, you don't win, at least you're part of the Academy. Now you can vote for other Academy nominations in the future until you're not acting no more. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to this, the GLAAD thing, the Michael Musto comment, and all that good stuff? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. So Madonna was shut out for Evita, as it was no talking dialogue. That's the truth. It was a long music video, which is what. Because it was like, yeah, you don't have to act. You're just singing the whole damn movie. It's like literally a musical on set. But then again, I've seen many musicals where it's a movie where it's like there's dialogue in between. I haven't seen Evita in so long. I did not know what was all up in there. But anyway. Let's move on. Let's talk about Robert Pattinson, who is addressing a lot of stuff regarding, Twilight. So, for years, he has not been able to live down being the Twilight boy. And people have been throwing shade at him in regards to that. And it was like, yeah, look, I wasn't a big Twilight fan. I remember when the phenomenon was what it was, because at the time I was working at AMC, and that movie franchise was getting my damn nerves. It was the Divergent franchise. It was like an onslaught of young adult novels being made into movies. And we had Divergent, we had 50 Shades of horribleness, because those movies were terrible, but those movies were sold out and drove me crazy with the amount of craziness that was going on with that film, but and the people that was coming in to see it. So it was that. Then it was the Hunger Games. Like, it was just this whole onslaught of YA movies for the younger generation. And he was a big sex pot at the time, and the kids loved the movie, but I know, like, he got a lot of crap because people felt like that Twilight was ruining vampire movies, which, look, it's been a minute since I could say that we got like some real good vampire stuff. Like, I heard that Nosferatu was a good vampire movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm still yearning for us to get like some real crazy, vicious 30 Days a Night-esque vampires. But look, for what Twilight was back in the day, that's what it was. But he said that people are still coming at him to tell him about how his 2008 movie ruined the vampire genre. So Robert Pattinson laughed off any continued hatred against the Twilight franchise in a translated interview from GQ España. Well, they said GQ Spain. I was just trying to be clever. So they said the actor debuted as the vampire Edward Cullen in 2008's Twilight, which launched a $3.3 billion movie franchise across 5 movies and turned Pattinson and co-star Kristen Stewart into global superstars. And I also think that's why we got Vampire Diaries and the originals and all that other stuff in the CW world, because they were capitalizing. He said, I love that people keep telling me, man, Twilight ruined the vampire genre. This is what he said in the interview. He said, are you stuck on that shit? How can you be sad about something that happened almost 20 years ago? It's crazy. So when Pattinson last spoke to GQ in 2022, he revealed that he wanted the original Twilight to be as edgy and emo as possible. He was 21 years old at the time and feeling young adult angst, but his vision for the movie didn't sit right with the studio. But I think at his age, you kind of could have played up into that. But he said, I wanted to make it as arty as possible. We had this strange tension where the studio was scared to make things a little too emo and stuff. I thought that was the only way to play it. I spent so much time on set infuriated. I can't believe the way I was acting half the time. So he also said that he remembered his managers visiting the Twilight set one day and encouraging him to smile more and not play things so seriously. Well, you're telling that to a 21-year-old kid who's like still remotely insecure and trying to figure out his like deal with how to balance his mood and all that other stuff. Like you're telling a kid to smile more and not be so serious. I mean, he's a kid. So they say his managers told him point blank, you'll be fired by the end of the day if you don't stop doing what you're doing. Now, Twilight director Catherine Hardwicke revealed on Happy Sad Confused in 2023 that the film studio also questioned if Pattinson had good enough looks to play Edward Cullen. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to read Robert Pattinson on whether or not he's attractive. Well, the girls seem to like him. So they ain't had no problem with Edward Cullen, well, him playing him. So they said that Robert laughed off any continued hatred against the Twilight franchise in a translated interview for GQ Spain. The actor debuted as the vampire Edward Cullen wait, did I just write because I was like, wait a minute, am I repeating myself? I think I am, but hold on. Because I was like, I didn't realize that it was doubled. But anyway, so they said when he came, now, she said, Catherine Hardwicke. She said when he came over to my house, he had black bangs for hair and was kind of out of shape because he was hanging out at the pub all the time. She recalled of auditioning Pattinson. After we did the fun auditions with Kristen at my house for a couple of hours, then I looked the next morning at all the footage I shot and recorded and thought it worked, not just in person, but it works on screen. I had to be sure. Of course, in person, I just got carried away, but you have to be sure it translates to the screen. Then then she sent us a summit and he went over to meet them. They called me back and go, do you think you can make this guy look good? I said, yeah, I do. Did you see his cheekbones? They were doing a makeover on the hair and everything, and he's going to start working out and he's going to be gorgeous, but they didn't believe it at first. He like walked over there with a stained shirt or something. It was like, he don't give a fuck. He just walked into a room. But what I didn't know, back in the day, fan casting leaned heavily on Henry Cavill. So that's who they wanted to play Robert Pattinson. I didn't know that. I was like, damn, sometimes I be forgetting that Henry Cavill been around for a long damn time. But she said that she did not go with Henry Cavill because he was too old to play the character. And right now she would be correct, because if this was 20 years ago, right now I think Henry Cavill's about 40, 41. So maybe he would be around the same age. But maybe in the face he looks older. I don't know. So yeah, so there's that. But here's the thing. Look, I was not a bit, like I said, I was not a big Twilight fan. I was not somebody who was big on that, but I don't understand why people are getting all upset over, like, oh, well, you ruined the franchise. I think y'all just like busting this boy's chops. And look, over the years, he has suffered because a lot of people gave him shit for playing Edward Cullen and did not take him seriously as an actor. So smartly, he moved on from that and decided to retreat and do more artsy-fartsy films for A24, but like The Lighthouse and all these other films. And then until he came back and he started doing more mainstream stuff, which is like this Mickey 17 movie that I saw the trailer for yesterday. It looks really good. And then he's about, I don't know when we're getting the Batman part 2, but I actually like his rendition of Batman. So he's over the years have proven himself that he is a prominent actor and he's a good actor. I know he's got step siblings with or would it be called half siblings with Bradley Cooper, because he just had a baby with Suki Waterhouse, who used to be with Bradley Cooper, and they have a kid together. So Suki getting around. She like her some white actors. She like her some them actors, them prestigious actors. So there's that. So I ask y'all this, for those of you who were Twilight fans or non-Twilight fans, do y'all really think that that Robert Pattinson ruined vampire movies? I'm like, look, if you're not a big on that genre of vampires, then don't watch it. That's how I was. I just moved on to the next thing. But yeah, we were caught up in this time in 2008 where it was all about, teen angst and kind of giving like this whole emo, young adult type of watered down vibe of vampires and all kinds of other stuff and supernatural things. Like it was very CW at the time. So I can understand why people feel the way they feel. And I do kind of get irritated with Hollywood that they didn't provide alternatives. But there's other alternatives that I liked. I mean, in regards to the vampire genre, 30 Days a Night is like one of my favorite vampire movies because of the overall subject matter of that and how vicious the vampires were. So we can kind of get back to that. That would be awesome. So whatever your thoughts are on this, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about Fast X Part 2. So Vin Diesel got up on social media today and basically revealed that he is bringing the movie, the final chapter in the film franchise, back to where it all started. He's bringing him and the family back to Los Angeles, and saying that because of the LA fires, that they're going to be filming a lot of the movie there in Los Angeles. So Diesel, according to Variety, he announced that Fast X Part 2 will finish shooting in Los Angeles, the city that provided the setting of the first film in the long-running franchise, as a way to bolster a local economy that's been hit hard by devastating wildfires, saying Los Angeles is where Fast and Furious started filming 25 years ago, and now Fast will finally return home. This is what he declared on social media. Now, on Instagram, let me pull that up so that way y'all can see it. He posted a picture of him with Jordana Brewster, who plays his sister in the franchise. Said that she reached out to him and urged him to press Universal to move the rest of the filming to LA, saying that the city needs it now more than ever. It's unclear how much more of Fast X Part 2 is left to shoot. The film does not currently have a release date. Now, this is the part that shocked me. First of all, I didn't even know they were filming Part 2 yet, because right now, and I was gonna make this a story, but I was like, it's such it'd be like a 2-second thing. I didn't really need to put it as one. But James Gunn revealed a photo of Supergirl on the set of Supergirl. So right now they're filming Supergirl. I think it's called Woman of Tomorrow or something or another. So right now they're filming the new Supergirl movie. They show basically a picture of Millie Alcock, the back of her head where she's sitting in one of those, chairs that's on set that the actors sit in, and that's basically it. So they've been filming. I think they started filming it around the time that Scream 7 started filming, which was like they've been filming for the past 2 weeks. And you know that Jason Momoa is playing Lobo in that movie. He's also coming back to reprise his role as Dante, the villain from Fast X Part 1 and Part 2. So I didn't even know they were filming Fast X, because now they're saying urge Universal to film the rest of the movie there. And so the way that the article is presenting itself is that they started filming the movie already. So I was like, okay, well, I guess they were filming and I didn't know they were filming. So now they said that although the first film, The Fast and the Furious, focused on an LA street racing crew run by Diesel's Dom Toretto, the series has subsequently moved to several international locales, including Tokyo, Rio de Janeiro, London, and Havana. The wildfires, as you know, which are still burning in Los Angeles, have led to deaths of at least 28 people, as well as billions of dollars of property damage. Family members of the entertainment industry, many members, I said family members, many members of the entertainment industry, from Billy Crystal to Julia Louis-Dreyfus to Milo Ventimiglia and Tyra Banks, have lost their homes or been displaced. So Fast X Part 2, like Part 1, well, Yeah, will be directed by Louis Leterrier, who you already know. I forgot who the other director was. He directed a bunch of the other Fast movies. He was on the film for like a week and then quit. And then they brought in Louis Leterrier, who was directed, like, I think he directed The Transporter and a bunch of other movies. So this film cast includes Jason Statham, Natalie Emmanuel, Michelle Rodriguez, Jason Momoa, Tyrese, Ludacris, and Dwayne Johnson. So here's the thing. I'm a fan of the Fast and the Furious franchise. I like a lot of that mindless entertainment. I've loved the first one was basically a ripoff of Point Break, as y'all probably know. If you ever seen Point Break, the original one with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze is literally a ripoff of that movie. Then they did the Too Fast, Too Furious with the late John Singleton. As much as I love John Singleton, that movie was terrible. That's when we had Ludacris, and I believe Tyrese was in that one. Then they did Tokyo Drift, which was god awful, but I liked the people that was in it. You had Bow Wow, you had Lucas Black was up in it, who I used to follow on this show called American Gothic back in the day. Yeah, I'm dating myself. Man, he was like a little kid on there. That show lasted, I think, like one season or two seasons. Gary Cole was on that show too. And then he went off and became like this big time TV star. And I know I think he did like what is it, NCIS or one of those damn shows he was on for years. So and then he, made appearances every now and again in a couple of movies. Then they decided let's bring Vin Diesel back because this franchise was going down the tubes. It just wasn't really doing what needed to be done. Because Vin Diesel thought he was too damn big for the franchise and just quit after the first one because he thought he was too damn big. And then he got humbled real quick. He made a cameo in the third one, then came back for the fourth one. And then I think that was the one that they killed Nettie off, which I'm like, y'all be getting on Letty. I'd be so mad every time y'all be killing off my girl, Michelle Rodriguez in movies. Can y'all stop killing her off and stuff? Like, y'all killed her a lot of times in Resident Evil. You killed her. Y'all just stay killing my girl off. So then she had died, and then in part 5, that she came back, and that's when the stuff started cooking with gas because they had Gina Carano, horrible acting ass, but she held her own in that movie. I will give her that. And then they brought in Dwayne Johnson, who in a way kind of added a little extra, nos to the situation. I had to use a drag racing reference. So, the franchise started cooking with gas. Fast 5 was good. Fast 6, Fast 7, that's when we lost, our boy. Damn, I forgot his name. How I forget his damn name? Paul Walker. So, I went the franchise at the beginning, but then they started getting stupid. Like Fast 8 wasn't that great. It was all right. Fast 9 was god awful. And Fast 10, I'm sitting there in the movies watching, like, what the hell? So I'm hoping that they wrap it all up. And I like the idea that they want to help boost the economy in LA because, yeah, LA is going to need it now more than ever. So much of it is burning. And that, yeah, we do need more jobs and stuff coming back into LA. So hopefully it works out. Shout out to Vin Diesel. I'm definitely, since I've been ride or die with the franchise from the beginning, even though it's, y'all been kind of slipping, I am definitely going to be out there to support this film when it comes out because I got to see how it ends. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of Vin Diesel providing an update on the Fast and the Furious franchise and saying that, yeah, he's gonna talk, I guess, discuss it with Universal to bring it back to LA. But does that mean that if you do that, then you have to make changes to the script? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, so now let's get into some Buffy news. And let's talk about Sarah Michelle Gellar, who I'm not really feeling the self-deprecating stuff that she's putting out here, saying that she feels that, and if she were to come back and play Buffy, that she would need a lot of plastic surgery because she's saying that I guess maybe she's saying she looks a little too old, but she doesn't. She looks good. I'm watching her on Dexter. She looks good. I've been seeing her in interviews and things of that nature. She's not a horrible looking woman. You're like in your late 40s, so you don't need surgery. So basically, she shared her thoughts on reprising her iconic role in the hit supernatural drama Buffy the Vampire Slayer amid rumors of a possible reboot. So the Emmy-winning actress has quipped that she would require a lot of plastic surgery to play Buffy again. The 47-year-old actress gained global attention when starring as Buffy Summers on the iconic supernatural series Buffy the Vampire Slayer between 1997 and 2003. And with whispers of a revival, the Cruel Intentions star has shed light on whether she would reprise the role, admitting it's likely she would choose someone younger. She told Who magazine the following. She said, I would need a lot of plastic surgery because I don't think I look like a teenager. I don't know if I would approach playing her any differently, really. Buffy is such a beautiful character. That never changes. But I think they would get someone younger if she does come back. But if people think that I can still save the world and kick butt, then I'm okay with that. Well, and then asked where she sees Buffy today. She said, I'm asked that a lot, but I'm still not really sure. I like to think she's living a good life, a peaceful life, without having to do all the slaying she's used to. And I'm happy with how we ended things with Buffy. I love playing her, and I feel proud of what she stood for and what she still stands for. She wasn't just a girlfriend or the token female. All things we take for granted in film and television now. I feel like Buffy was a part of that positive change. And she was, because normally growing up, I never really saw where girls got to be strong figures and all this other stuff, and seeing how Buffy was such an empowered young girl where it wasn't like so shoved down your throat. Now these days, if Buffy was to come out from in 19, if today was 1997, we had social media, all this other stuff. You know, people in here calling it woke and all this other foolishness, and I'm like, shut up. But back in the day, we were championing stuff like this. I remember like all the magazines were talking heavily about Buffy and how so many people loved the show. And Entertainment Weekly was a huge champion for Buffy. I can't tell you how many times they ended up on the cover of Buffy. The cast of Buffy ended up on the cover of Entertainment Weekly because I used to get the magazines in the mail. So when I used to read the magazines and stuff, you know, you would always get that. So with her saying what she said, I don't think that they will want you to play her as a teenager. I think if they do bring Buffy back, that we can get Buffy back as she is today. That you're a woman in your 40s, or maybe you can do early to mid 40s. You don't. Well, first of all, I was going to say, what does a 40-something-year-old look like? Age doesn't have a face to it. You could play like a mother of a teenage girl or whatever the case is, and maybe there's something there with your daughter has the gift of slaying, and you basically are trying to navigate her through this whole thing. Like, that's not a life that she knew about that you were a part of. And then all of a sudden, you have this gift, and now she has to learn about all the things that her mother did in the past, and you can bring in people for cameos, or you can find a whole new young lady who's not Buffy that you could possibly mentor. And like we've said before, I've said this before, maybe you could be the Giles of the season of the show. When you come in as, you could be a watcher or a member of the council who works for the organization. But then again, Buffy was somebody who always did things her way and broke the rules. She didn't always follow the way the rules were because the rules could get you killed. So she did that. She was always someone who was an improviser and that sort of thing. She was the rule breaker. Kendra was the one who followed the rules. Then you got Faith, who was a little too rebellious and took advantage of her power and this responsibility that she had. So I feel like they can find a way to work it out. I don't necessarily think they want to de-age you and make you look young and have you play a teenager, because nobody would buy that. And then on top of that, the way that they make people look de-age these days, it's so weird. They still, in my opinion, haven't figured out how to make that work. So I don't think that that's what they would want to do with you. I just feel like they would probably just do Buffy present day and then have other characters come in where they can make that whole show work. And it's like, well, where's Buffy today? And then we'll just work it from there. So we have to see how that is. But so don't be so hard on yourself, sis. You do not need plastic surgery. You look fine to me. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Would you be here for Sarah Michelle Gellar reprising her role as Buffy in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I'm here for it. I mean, before, when they were talking about that, oh yeah, we should get, like, the rumor was Zendaya. And I'm sitting there like, I would love to see Zendaya in that role. But Zendaya's busy with a whole lot of other stuff. I would like for them to go find a younger actor, but if you can find a way to, because they're reviving everything these days, and if you can find a story that actually works, we revive the series and bring Sarah back, because she definitely wants to play the part, I would love to see it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Ciao. You said American Idol is in crisis, talks ahead of the new season. LGBTQ Democrats and others have told American Idol really messed up. I asked to leave. I'm part of the top 12. 7 LGBTQ artists have left the show. putting the season in jeopardy, and that is causing the crisis talks. They thought people would be okay. No, not when you got someone like a Carrie Underwood representing American Idol and going off and singing for Trump, which I found funny because remember back in the day when you had homosexuals performing on American Idol, they remain in the closet for a career. So the times have changed. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll probably incorporate. Wait, hold on. What is that? Oh, you know what? Since we do have an American Idol story coming, I mean, not American Idol, since we have a Carrie Underwood story coming up later, I think I will add this because this is from Daily Mail, chair. This is I'll add it to the docket, but I need to find. I didn't talk about that. She's breaking her silence. Child, nobody cares. Hmm. Yeah, because they talking about she's speaking out after the whole Trump situation. But hold on, what's this Diane Warren thing? I think she was trying to get. Oh, oh yeah, she got a Diane Warren got an Oscar nomination. I think that's for that song for the movie with Tyler Perry, and she was happy that she got a nomination. But people say she better win. I hope she wins too. Okay, so I'll add that to the story later on, and we'll just bring it up in the thing because then I can do it in real time. But anyway, let's move on to the through the rest of the comments. So it's now I think it's worse than the Bush era. They're trying to take us. It feels like they're trying to take us back to the 18 damn hundreds. That's what it feels like. Oh, I just got an alert that I'm working tomorrow because I was fighting for that damn shift. So yeah, there won't be a show tomorrow. I think the next time we'll be doing the show is Monday. Okay, so it says so they're wondering if canceling this season could save the show. Quiet as it's kept. They need to cancel American Idol, and I think at this point they're just like, you know what? They'll probably just buy her out, if that's what it's going to be. And I feel like they need to replace her with someone who I was going to say they need to replace her with somebody who was actually on the show, an American Idol alum. She was on the show, but I would have been like a Kelly Clarkson. But Kelly is over there at NBC. She don't want no parts. Yes, we definitely need a another Buffy. So I definitely agree with that. But anyway, let's move on and let's get through these. One more movie topic. So let's get into this Alien Romulus story. Now, I loved Alien Romulus that came out last year. And I'm glad that they got that 20th Century Studios got smart and actually released this in the theater instead of like what they did with Prey, which was a prequel of sorts to Predator, and they released that straight to Hulu. And I would have loved to have seen that film in the movies, but I like the fact that now they're releasing the new Predator sequel, Predator Badlands, in the theater because they saw how successful it was. So I'm glad that they got smart with that. I'm also glad that they decided to put Alien Romulus in the theater because at first it was also supposed to be released on a streaming service, but then they released it in the theater and it was a huge hit. I saw it in the theater twice. So that's how much I love the freaking movie. And me, I'm becoming like one of my favorite genre movie makers happens to be Fede Alvarez. Like I love a lot of the movies that he's been making. I love Don't Breathe. Didn't like Don't Breathe Part 2, but he didn't direct that. So he gets a slide with that one. So he did Don't Breathe, the first Don't Breathe. He did a remake of Evil Dead, which I actually liked. And then he did Alien Romulus. Like he's taken a lot of he's done his own thing, but he's also taken a lot of previous franchises and breathed new life into it. You don't want to know something? Since they can't figure out what to do with this franchise, and it's not a franchise I mentioned yet, so I'm not saying Alien, whatever. Can he take on after this movie, after he does Alien Romulus, the sequel? Can you take on the Terminator? Because we need a rejustification of that franchise. I feel like ever since Terminator 2 Judgment Day, that franchise has been shit. It really has. And then y'all keep trying to change up the canon and all that other stuff. So I would love to see him take that franchise on. But nevertheless, let's get into the story. So Comic Book Movie is reporting from Daniel RPK, our favorite rumor scooper, or rumor spreader, that Sigourney Weaver and a de-aged Sigourney Weaver could make an appearance in Alien Romulus Part 2, or whatever they're going to call it. So, according to a new rumor, Fede Alvarez is mulling over the idea of bringing back Sigourney Weaver's Ripley for his planned sequel, meaning we could see her share the screen with Kaylee Spaney's reign. Now, Alien Romulus takes place between the events of Sir Ridley Scott's Alien and James Cameron's Aliens, a creative decision which opened the door to exciting cameos and world-building opportunities. The movie cleverly brought back Ian Holm as the android Rook after the late actor previously played Ash in the 1979 classic. There was some controversy due to the huge use of CGI and AI, but longtime fans appreciated the connective tissue with what's come before. And I will say this, I did like seeing Ian Holmes. Well, he was this new kind of android Rook, but he also played Ash in the original Alien movie, where he went haywire and tried to kill everybody on the damn ship, including trying to shove a newspaper in Ripley's mouth, which I thought was like, how do you try to strangle her or choke her to death with shoving a new I was like, it was such a weird scene, but I was like, I'm here for it. I do agree that the things that bothered me in that sequence was the CGI and AI and how it came off a little weird, which is why, while I'm excited for if they bring back Sigourney Weaver for a bona fide cameo and do her justice, because Alien 3 was a mess, and I love David Fincher, but that movie was a mess. And then they brought her back as like this super being who could fight, like she was sort of like a Terminator type in Alien Resurrection with Winona Ryder and the rest of them. That movie was a mess too. I mean, there's parts of it I enjoy. I love the action aspect of it, but it was such a terrible movie. So I would love in a way for them to, like, in a way of Ryan Reynolds doing justice to a lot of characters that were done dirty via Deadpool and Wolverine and giving them kind of like their closure. I would love to see Sigourney Weaver pop up in a good Alien movie where she gets her proper closure. And if you're going to bring her in this film and de-age her, which I don't know if they've necessarily perfected the technology for that yet. Maybe they need James Cameron to come aboard and do his old, the way he's defied technology so many damn times and ushered in these new creative things, especially what he's doing with the Avatar series and stuff. I would love to see them try to pull this together, and I would love to see a de-aged Sigourney Weaver, like y'all have done before. Like y'all had a de-aged, oh my God, what the hell's her name? The actress that was in, I forgot her freaking name. I'm drawing a blank right now. She was in the original Blade Runner, and they brought her back for Blade Runner 2049. And I think they had like a little stand or whatever, and there was parts of her where they de-aged her. Rachel, her character's name was Rachel. Sean Young. Now it's funny how it came to me. I knew it eventually come. That's how my brain is. I go on a delay sometimes. So when they had Sean Young, a de-aged version of her, which I heard she was mad because they didn't even let her know she was going to be in the damn movie. But I guess studios can do whatever the hell they want at this point. So sometimes the de-aging, if they don't talk, it looks real. But then when they move their mouth, it's like, there's something a little off. So I like as I said before, yeah, there's Rook, who, was played by Ian Holm. Well, actually Ian Holm wasn't in it because he passed away. And he was also in was he in Lord of the Rings? So Ian Holm, they had to use the CGI and AI to bring him back. And so yeah, there was animatronics, and over his face they used like over the mouth they used like CGI. So it looked like he was talking, whatever the case was. And then I guess they used I don't know if they used old footage of him talking or they used another actor who sounded like him. And it worked for the most part, but there was some weird stuff that was going on with that. So yeah. So according to Daniel Rickman, as I said, from FFFgazette.com, this is via them, it said there are discussions about bringing her back for a Ripley with de-aging technology. Disney has mastered the ability to de-age actors, largely through MCU projects, so we've no doubt Weaver would look as badass as ever, returning to her most iconic role. Now the question remains: Are you gonna have like her on set in like one of those suits with the dots on her face, and you're gonna have like a younger person coming and having her do all the crazy stunts while you pretty much de-aged her face? So if they can figure it out, I'm here for it. So they said Rodo Sayagüez, who is the co-writer, and Alvarez said they are working on the film right now. He said of the sequel in a recent interview, we're excited about where it can go. We've almost checked all of the boxes of things that I want to see in Romulus and thought it brought back a lot of the things I hadn't seen in a while. Wherever we go now, we can go into uncharted waters. And so he said, I think it will be exciting to go with characters you know from this movie to a place in the Alien franchise that we've never seen before or never been before and discuss and discover things that you've never seen before. And yes, he said he's going to continue Rain's story. And also, I'm sure, going to continue the other android. I forgot his name, but the android that they kind of went off together in the little cryo sleep situation. So they said the mistake usually with sequels is to make them because you can, and because of the success of Romulus, we definitely can make a sequel, but I wouldn't do it unless we have a really good idea for it, something that's worthy of the title. Now, I should point out that Alien Romulus arrived in theaters last August, earning glowing reviews. It was certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes at 80% and an impressive $350 million at the worldwide box office. And I do believe that the budget for that film was $80 million, which shocked the hell out of me. I'm like, well, wait a minute. How the hell Fede Alvarez could make a movie under $100 million look like a $200 million movie? And there's people in Hollywood that need a $200 million budget and be always stressing out that they can't make even on their films, and their films come out of shit. And I think it's because Fede is a real filmmaker who takes the time to really use what needs to be used and is not just, oh, well, they just gonna give me a whole bunch of money. Let me just waste it. Like, he's very practical when it comes to the decisions and stuff he makes. So if you haven't seen Alien Romulus, it is now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. And you can also get it on digital 4K, Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. So I've seen it quite a few times already because I love the film. But I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Would you be up for Sigourney Weaver reprising her role in Alien Romulus, a sequel? My thing is, I'm here for, we like our little nostalgia, and they gave us a little bit of that in the other film, but I feel like it needs to make sense for why she would even appear in this film. Don't just do the fan service just for fan service sake. If you have a good story, then I'm here for it. But I trust in Fede that he'll do the right thing and give us some good stuff. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Robert said the day NFL and WWE debuted on Netflix, killed traditional TV. Sports going into Netflix, put traditional TV in its coffin. Well, the thing with all of that, they're going to have to go into that because they realize they need the money to come in, and they make their money from the ad revenue and all other stuff. So yeah, they will eventually. A lot of the streaming services were going to go into sports. I believe Hulu does sports, Prime does sports, Paramount Plus does live sports. So they had to do something so that way they could bring that money in. So it was only a matter of time. So Netflix move with the big leagues was the big blow. And Netflix will always come out on top. I loved her original character, but I don't need the DH thing. Just a good story. Yeah, why can't we have an older Sigourney Weaver? Well, I'm like, she's about to be in another Avatar movie, but then she's not a human. So I guess. That works. But yeah, the de-age stuff that they do, they always come across looking weird. So I'm not really for the whole de-aging thing until they can get it right. All right, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Wendy Williams. How are you doing? So Wendy Williams is got some good news. So, with all these some hopeful news, I should say. So, with her recently doing her interview circuit, where she went on The Breakfast Club, she called into Don Lemon show, she called into she sat and spoke with Harvey Levin over at TMZ. She went and spoke with Jason Lee on Hollywood, from Hollywood Unlocked. So she's been doing the circuit, via phone. Hopefully they didn't take a phone away, is what she was fearing. And she basically was just speaking to all of her media conglomerates, her peers, in regards of what was happening with her in this conservatorship. And so, from what I'm hearing, is that a lot of this talk has gotten some Congress people interested in her case. So, New York lawmaker Anthony Palumbo announced his initiative to reintroduce Carolyn's Law, and that's Carolyn with a K, a measure designed to reform the current guardianship laws in New York State regarding family visitation. Now, at the end of Palumbo's proposal is the belief that families should not be forcibly separated from their loved ones due to guardianship circumstances. Carolyn's Law would allow family members to file a motion with the court seeking visitation rights. Once submitted, the guardian will have 10 days to demonstrate whether the visitor is displaying any inappropriate behavior. If the guardian fails to prove such claims, families would be granted the right to visit. This is crazy to me. Not what this person is proposing, not what Anthony is proposing, but how is it that family members do not have visitation rights to see a family member that is in a conservatorship? And they're being forcibly separated from their loved ones. So I don't know. How is this a thing? Like, I was not aware of this is what was going on in New York. And how it feels like that loophole has allowed people like a Sabrina Morrissey, allegedly, to abuse the system and abuse their power. So now Palumbo has long followed Williams's case and expressed deep concern over her current living situation, describing it as tragic that she is confined to her apartment and away from her loved ones. He believes it is critical for people like Williams, regardless of any cognitive decline they may be experiencing, to maintain familial connections during difficult times. The renewed attention surrounding Williams's case has prompted a wave of support from Palumbo's legislative efforts. Since he first introduced Carolyn's Law back in 2022, his office has reportedly received countless calls and emails from citizens expressing their concerns about Williams's guardianship ordeal. Palumbo recognizes the unfortunate truth that celebrity tragedies often serve as wake-up calls for legislative reform, sparking public interest where there might otherwise be none. And you want to know something? I'm actually glad that he acknowledged that, because that was going to be something I was going to bring up after I finished reading the article. But since you brought it up, I might as well just stop and then I'll continue. I was going to say that, like, sometimes it's so sad to me how it takes a celebrity going through something for our government officials, our Congress people, to wake up and want to push legislation. And so that's when people say, well, y'all need to keep celebrity out of politics. But it seems like that's the only time that y'all want to pay attention. I mean, y'all voted a second time a reality damn TV star to be the president. So if y'all want to sit here and talk about keep celebrity and politics separate, those days is done. Because like I said before, it's like y'all only find relatability with celebrities or rich people, or because people that you invited into your homes, how many days a week that they on your TV screen that you feel like you know these people. And for 13 years, Wendy Williams was in everybody's, a lot of people, I won't say everybody's, but a lot of people's homes, spewing the celebrity news and gossip. So people find a relatability with her. So yeah, well, what she's dealing with on the surface is like, yeah, it's sad that it always takes a celebrity for legislation to get pushed in Congress. However, when this happens, it helps those other people who aren't as famous as Wendy Williams is to get the same treatment. And their families could be able to file, this whole, the whole Carolyn's Law situation, where they can go and file paperwork to get visitation. So the controversy surrounding Wendy Williams' guardianship began after Wells Fargo took significant action in early 2022 to freeze her bank account, successfully petitioning the court for temporarily financial guardianship because she was of unsound mind. Now, Williams has vehemently opposed this characterization and is actively fighting to regain control over her finances. While legal battles continue on that front, The underlying issues raised by Williams' situation are far-reaching. They touch on critical topics regarding the rights and autonomy of individuals who may be vulnerable and at risk of financial exploitation, particularly those facing health concerns. And they say that happens a lot when it comes to rich people that are in these situations, where it's like, yeah, now you're, because they got a lot of money. And from what I was hearing, that Wendy Williams post her talk show situation, she was worth $60 million, allegedly. So yeah, you get those people that see a gold mine and they take advantage of you. Now, as lawmakers like Colombo advocate for reforms, Wendy Williams' case may very well redefine how guardianship laws are handled in New York and possibly beyond. Now, in the wake of tragedy, it seems the voice of advocacy is growing louder, demanding that families not be sidelined or silenced in the realms of guardianship and visitation. The hope is that Carolyn's law will catalyze positive change, paving the way for families to retain their right to connection when it matters most. So we just got to keep fighting for Wendy. We just got to keep putting out there hashtag free Wendy, and and have her get under the care of people who care about her. Now, people can sit up here and say, well, her family going to take advantage of whatever. Well, look, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. The bridge that we need to cross is getting her out of this crazy conservatorship with these greedy people who don't give a damn about her, and where she's being kept in this prison. She's being kept away from her family. She doesn't have access to these people. And I feel like that, the older you get, the lonelier people start to feel. And she is in this place of, she doesn't get to talk and connect with people, and she's experiencing loneliness. And that could even push her dementia, as they say, that she has, even further. So she should be getting better, not worse. And you isolating her and keeping her away from the people that genuinely love and care about her only will make the situation worse. So I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops. But in the meantime, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Wendy Williams? And, a New York senator is looking into her case. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Actually, let's go from one situation to another, and let's talk about Billy Ray Cyrus, whose son is saying that he is genuinely concerned for Billy Ray Cyrus. And he took to Instagram to basically share his genuine concerns for his father, Billy Ray. Because I think, since he got a divorce with that woman, and, there's always been some drama going on behind the scenes with all of them, like Miley and Noah and them. Well, Noah, I think, has been more like on the side of Billy Ray. Miley's been on the side of her mother, Tish. There's a whole situation where Tish went and married Noah's ex, Dominic Purcell, who once upon a time, well, I don't know if he still acts. I don't know. But I remember he was Drake. They tried to, coolify Dracula in Blade Trinity, one of the worst goddamn Blade movies. And then he was on Prison Break and The Revival. So that's why I know Dominic Purcell from. So there was a whole family mess with that. And then I saw something recently that Tish and one of the siblings was throwing shade at Liam Hemsworth. But whatever. So according to people that said Trace Cyrus is voicing his concerns around his father, Billy Ray Cyrus, amid him receiving criticism for his performance during President Donald Trump's inaugural festivities. Now, on Wednesday, January 22nd, Trace, who's 35, and with who Billy Ray, 63, adopted in 1993 after marrying his now ex-wife Tish Cyrus, penned an emotional open letter to the musician on Instagram, writing that since his earliest memories, all he could remember was being obsessed with his dad and thinking that he was the coolest person ever. So yeah, so we have that, and hold on as I show y'all the IG post. So the IG post reads as follows. He says, since my earliest memories, all I can remember is being obsessed with you and thinking you were the coolest person ever. I wanted to be just like you. The day you adopted me was the happiest day of my life. Sadly, the man that I wanted so desperately to be just like I barely recognize now. It seems this would have beaten you down, and it's become obvious to everyone but you. You may be upset with me for posting this, but I really could care less at this point. Me and the girls have been genuinely worried about you for years, but you pushed all of us away. Noah desperately has wanted you to be a part of her life, and you haven't even been there for her. That's your baby girl. She deserves better. Somehow, just like me, she still idolizes you, though. We are all hanging on to memories of the man we once knew and hoping for the day he returns. You're not healthy, Dad, and everyone is noticing it. Just like I showed up for you at Mama's. Not you call Mama. That's what I be calling my. That's a Southern thing. It's a Mama's, because that's what I used to call my grandmother. Funeral when you didn't expect me to. I'm still here right now. As I write this with tears in my eyes, I hope you realize this message only comes from a place of love and also fear that the world may lose you far too soon. I love you, Dad. We haven't talked in a while, but I'm over a year and a half clean from alcohol. Guess what? I feel amazing. I don't know what you're struggling with exactly, but I think I have a pretty good idea, and I'd love to help you if you would open up and receive the help. You know how to reach me. Till that day comes, I will continue to pray for you, Billy Ray Cyrus. And I'm glad that he turned, you know what, let me like that post. I'm glad he turned off the comments, because you know what, some people, well, why you put this on social media? Why you can't call him up? And then, because you know what, sometimes putting it in the public is the only alternative, because like he said, he's pretty much isolated himself and distanced himself from his own damn children. So if I can't get my father on the phone, if I cannot text him, if I can't call him, if he's not receiving my messages, why don't you return my call? Like, if you're not doing all of that, then what am I supposed to do? I need to go on social media and ring the alarm, because then maybe one of the people that is connected to Billy Ray will be able to get to him and try to get him some help. If I can't do it, at least I'm letting people aware. At least I'm putting the, like I said, ringing the alarm. So I know, like, sometimes people say, like, everything ain't for social media consumption. Yeah, when it comes to Cardi B always opening her damn mouth about Offset, yes, that plays into that. Or some of the other people, when y'all come out saying stuff, like, some of that need to be kept under wraps. But this situation, I totally understand why he had to take it public. So sometimes, I just be having to explain stuff because some people just don't get it. So what else did he go on to say? Oh, it's basically just like so they're basically talking about his inaugural event. They say at the inaugural event, Billy Ray experienced technical difficulties as he sang "Achy Breaky Heart" and his little child. How you up in there singing "Old Town Road" when they don't like the homosexuals? But I'm glad Lil Nas X wasn't there. But is this seem to be an ongoing thing with them having technical difficulties? Because Billy Ray had technical difficulties. Carrie Underwood's had technical difficulties. So they probably just had the cheapest, shittiest equipment. So basically, they said after performing his portion of Old Town Road, Billy Ray went on to repeat his lyrics in a monotone voice and asked the crowd to sing along with him as he wandered around the stage with no backing track. Meanwhile, during his performance of Achy Breaky Heart, he faced issues with his guitar and microphone. And while attempting to perform the song a cappella, he removed his microphone from the stand and started speaking the lyrics rather than singing them. Now, they said, check, is anybody awake? Billy Ray asked during the performance. Y'all want me to sing more, or do you want me to just get the hell off the stage? He said, in life, when you have technical difficulties, you just keep going. Or as President Trump would say, you got to fight. Child, not you up in here reciting that bullshit. So they said the country singer spoke about his performance on January 21st in an exclusive statement to People, saying, I wouldn't have missed the honor of playing this event, whether my microphone, guitar, or monitors worked or not. I was there because President Donald J. Trump invited me. I had a ball at the Liberty Ball last night, and I've learned through all these years that when the producer says you're on, you go entertain the folks, even if the equipment goes to hell. I was there for the people, and we had a blast. That's called rock. Well, he said that's called rock and roll. But according to the people, what you was doing wasn't rock and roll. It was a hot ass mess. But I say all this to say, hopefully he's not going through some things, that he's able to work the situation out, and that Billy, if you are going through some issues beyond the technical difficulties that you was enduring at this inauguration ball or whatever, that you do get the help that you need, because you probably are going through some things. Like You were in a marriage to Tish. I don't think you dealt with that. You have this issue where you're not really in the good graces of your children. You kind of push them away, according to Trace. You were just in a marriage with this girl. What's her name? Sunshine, Rainbow. Like, she got some weird ass name. He was just in a marriage that was disastrous. So, hopefully he gets it together and they all work it out. So I say all this to say, whatever your thoughts are on this, let me know in the comments down below. I'm shallow. Okay? Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute now. If Kelly Rowland told Nelly not to say, no matter what I do, then why didn't Lil Nas X get up in there and be like, don't you be singing them damn Old Town Road? Or you saying like, if you think like she a Trump supporter, I don't know if she would be. I saw some old clip the other day when she went on Joe Rogan before he got radicalized, and she threw a little shade at him. And they started watching clips of RuPaul's Drag Race, and she was talking about how much she loves the show, whatever it is. I think that was around the time when she invited the Drag Race girls to come perform with her and stuff. And I think it was at the VMAs. But around that time, so it was a couple of years ago when she went on Joe Rogan's show. And he went and said, well, they always doing the same thing over and over, like the jump splits and all stuff, which, quiet as it's kept, it's kind of true. But then she was like, yeah, but it's kind of like your show. She threw a dagger in here and was like, yeah, with your show, you do the same shit over and over. But, like, he kind of had a point though, because like now all these queens think that even during the ballad, they got to get there and start twirling and doing jump splits and all the other mess. Remember when Latrice Royale got up there saying "Natural Woman" and you had freaking Kenya Michaels up there twirling, doing ballet shit? I'm like, girl, this is not. You don't do all of that to know. You don't do a jeté and all that other mess to some damn Aretha. Are you crazy? You're supposed to get up there and emote the music. And that's why her ass had to sashay away, because, like, no, you don't do that to no damn classic. But that's what a lot of these girls be up there doing. Hada Booray. You doing all that mess up there to some damn Aretha. So it's some damn Reefa. Not Reefa, not Riri. The original Riri, not Rihanna. So speaking of which, girl, you better hope your baby daddy don't end up in jail. And said she went on Joe Rogan. Okay. I'm glad somebody remembered, because I was like, I know she went on a Joe Rogan podcast, because I saw that clip floating around the other day. Yeah, the dips and splits are kind of predictable. Mm-hmm. Very that, as the queens say. Very that. Okay, so now let's move on, since we're still speaking about messy ass inauguration performances. Let's talk about Carrie Underwears, because fresh off the news that she allegedly threw a damn temper tantrum after she suffered a snafu at Donald Trump's inauguration, the Daily Mail is now reporting that she made a staggering list of demands. Hold on, why is my computer freezing? They said a staggering list of demands that she had made when I guess before she performed, unless she was invited, and I'm sure they probably would have gave it to her. So the country star, who's 41, was invited to sing America the Beautiful, as you all know. The judges also said to have had laid down a list of requests, including a huge entourage and a handmade designer dress ahead of the gig, which was plagued with technical issues. So now they said Carrie was the inauguration day diva, an insider told DailyMail.com. She's been telling anyone who wanted to listen that Trump called her personally to ask her to perform. Girl, who cares? Except the people in his damn silo. She, of course, demanded tickets for her family and friends on top of that as well, because they're all just as radicalized as she is. Now, among her entourage was her hairstylist of 20 years, Melissa Schleicher, whatever you say it, who praised her client for bringing unity. Y'all keep cloaking this bullshit with some unity and togetherness when you actually have someone who's running around trying to start wars with Greenland and Mexico and trying to get rid of all kinds of things that have been put in place against women, gay people, LGBTs, black folks. They're talking about we can't even celebrate Black History Month. Fuck out of here with that. So you can sign all these psychotic ass executive orders if you want to. It's all about just smoke screen. Let's keep our eye on the ball. Bernie Sanders said it best. Got to keep our eye on the ball. Now, Underwood looks stunning. as they said, as she took a position in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda wearing a specially crafted dove gray draped midi dress by Italian fashion house Opificio Modenese. I have no idea who that is, but okay. Now, Underwood and Toybina, that's her stylist actually, Marina Toybina. They said they go way back with the costume designer working with her on music videos for the Country Music Awards, most recently for her New Year's Rockin' Eve performance in New York City's Times Square. Now, Underwood had faced fierce criticism for agreeing to perform at the ceremony after telling fans that she was humbled to take part in an historic event, saying, "I love our country and I'm honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration, blah, blah, blah," so on and so forth. Now, the move was taken by some as confirmation of her support of the Donald, with many questioning her morals while others branded her decision disgusting. So yeah, they said she stopped reading the backlash because Carrie does not care what others think of her, and that's cute or whatever. But now, word on the curve, you look at JD Vance. How much makeup between him and Trump? Who's got on the most makeup? And why? When you look at this angle, Trump face look burnt. It look literally like you giving carrot the shade of a rotten carrot, or like a carrot in his last days. And then you got the bootleg Carmen San Diego in the back, and JD Vance looking like a damn groupie. But anyway, so it's gotten to the point where now they're saying like the backlash has gotten to the point where American Idol bosses are freaking out over this upcoming season because they said, look, according to the Daily Mail, let's get into that. This article. So this says American Idol bosses are acutely aware of the impact that Carrie Underwood's inauguration performance could have on the show, with fears it may unravel hard-fought efforts to improve LGBTQ representation. Because what people need to realize is that, yeah, over the years when I used to grow up watching American Idol, because yeah, I was of the demographic that American Idol was geared towards back in the day, with the Kelly Clarksons and the Clay Aikens and the Adam Lamberts and the and Ruben Studdards and Fantasias and Jennifer Hutt, or Screamer for Hudson, as I like to call her, and so on and so forth. So back in the day, you always hear the stories where Clay Aiken would come out, or Adam Lambert, and a lot of them, and even David Archuleta, when they would talk about the lack of queer representation on the show, and how a lot of time, even Adore Delano, who has brought this up, where they try to tell you to kind of mask it up a little bit. But so over the years, I believe that, well, I don't know, because I haven't watched, like I told you, I haven't watched the show since y'all did my boy, David Archuleta, dirty. So back in the day, so I haven't watched the show since then, so I don't know how far they have gone to improve the queer representation on the show. But when you have Carrie Underwood performing at the inauguration, what people think, because what people have to realize, y'all trying to compare Trump and what he does to any other president. He's not like any other president. He doesn't move or behave like any other president. He's moving like a psychopathic dictator. That's what he's trying to do right now. So let's stop trying to act like that he's of the big leagues in the same vein of like a Biden, Obama, George W. Bush, even an Abraham damn Lincoln. And I wasn't even alive when that man was, obviously, because he was the 16th president. We're on president number 47. So like, he doesn't move like those other presidents. So let's stop trying to act like that's what he's giving. So when you look at someone like a Trump who has made stances of being anti-everybody except white and rich and male, or if you're a brown person, he'll take you up under his situation because you got money. And he can be easily bought, which he's been proving time and time again. He is for sale, as is our country. So when it comes down to that, people look at it differently. If you were a supporter of Trump during his second term, because he wasn't like this in so many ways with his first term, this second term is way different, and things feel like it's getting way worse. And they are going to get way worse for the next 4 years. Mark my words. So y'all can sit up in there on the denial bus, but this is the reality. And what's going to happen is all this shit is going to hit the fan. And when people like Carrie Underwood align themselves with him, especially when you have a position on a TV show like American Idol, where there are going to be queer people going on there to perform and try to get a record deal or whatever the case and become famous, when you have someone like her on there, They're looking at, oh, this bitch is a damn Trump supporter. She doesn't like me because I'm part of the LGBTQ community. So I'm not going to get a fair shake with her sitting there. So this is the way people are looking at this. You can believe whatever you want to believe in the privacy of your own home politically. But when you take that stance, you perform for whoever, then people believe that when you perform that, then you agree with what their stance is. But y'all want to cloak it as, oh, when I wanted to unite the tree, so they ain't shit unifying that this man wants to do. I understand maybe in your naive world you want to unify, but that's not what he's about. That's not what his supporters are about, for the most part. Not the ones in the bubble. So they said the country star 41 was invited. Okay, we don't need to go through all that. We already know what the hell she was there to sing. But then they said that her decision to perform prompted calls to boycott her upcoming debut as a judge on the popular ABC show. Because, yeah, she has replaced Katy Perry as the new female voice of American Idol. So now they said, now insiders have claimed that there are concerns that contestants may feel uncomfortable, which could prove problematic for the show's values and ratings. And then here we go with people talking about snowflake this and snowflake that, because we have to be uncomfortable for y'all, but then any other thing, we always have to accommodate the other side when it comes to stuff. But when people feel uncomfortable because you're a hater, that's a problem for y'all. So now, Idol contestants come from a wide range of diverse backgrounds, and so do the people who work on the show. This is what a source told Daily Mail exclusively. There are concerns that her apparent political stance might make some contestants feel uncomfortable. So then they went on to say, because, they love doing a whole goddamn slew of photos in here before we get to the rest of the article. So they continued, there's also worry that backlash could impact viewership. Her apparent support for Trump doesn't align with the show's values of inclusivity and diversity. Now, following years of criticism, Idol has received higher praise since it moved from Fox for an ABC reboot in 2018, providing a more inclusive space for minorities and members of the LGBTQ community. Now, though memorable contestants such as Adam Lambert, Clay Aiken, and David Archuleta eventually came out after their time on the show, it was 13 seasons before a contestant was open about their sexuality, something that is now more common in the early audition stages. Lionel Richie, who is very liberal, may not see eye to eye with Carrie's views, which could create some tension, a source continued. He has never and will never support Trump. They noted that due to the changes since season 16 in 2018, judges are typically advised to avoid becoming political figures. Well, apparently people do not pay attention when they call me because I'm freaking live, and that wasn't supposed to happen. I just popped off in the middle of the damn show. So annoying though. Okay, so they also noted, they said that they noted that due to the changes since season 16 in 2018, judges are typically advised to avoid becoming political figures, but they do not always hold back from expressing their views. Luke Bryan made headlines when he invited Republican politician Ron DeSantis to join him on stage at a gig in Florida back in 2022. He defended his decision in a statement in which he wrote, Governor DeSatan is a very polarizing figure, to say the least. But I grew up in a country where if a governor asks you if they can come and raise awareness to help victims of a natural disaster, you help. Well, that's weird because I'm like, wait a minute. Governor DeSantis actually supposed to help people in his own state of Florida? That's a shock. I've generally stayed out of politics throughout my career. I knew people would chatter about this, but for me, the more important piece was if I am going to come back there a few weeks after a large portion of people have been affected by a natural disaster in a state where people have been good to me, this felt right. And if you're doing it for charity, because it's like, I'm doing it for the greater good. And I don't mind that. It's like, yeah, Ron DeSantis is an asshole. We know that. Especially on a lot of the policies that he's done in Florida and what he's doing to Floridians and what y'all are okay with out there. However, if a musician comes along and there's a politician that, yeah, I can't stand the ground they walk on. Like if I was at a position of like a Luke Bryan, or I'll even use a New York artist. If I was a New York artist or something, and even though I can't stand Mayor Adams, and he called me to ask me to come and help do something charitable for the city of New York, I definitely do it, even though I don't like him and what he stands for and his grifting ass and him shucking the job. Please, Please, Trump, can you give me a pardon? And then had the nerve to go and do an interview with freaking what the hell's name? Tucker Carlson. Yeah, he did that recently. I'm like, talking about that the Republican Party the Democratic Party failed him. Oh Lord, I can't wait till we vote his ashy ass out. I can't stand him. So now they also said this. The insider also questioned if Carrie had considered her role on Idol and how performing for one of America's most divisive presidents could impact the show. She probably didn't. There should have been a clause in her contract that said that she couldn't do that. Like in general, of like politicians and like keep your political stuff to yourself. Y'all should not be running over there doing stuff with these other people. Like, I don't know, they could have figured out something. Because it's like, yeah, you're coming on and doing this show that is a well-known reality competition show. And now you coming in with your polarizing whatever kind of feels a little icky. So they said the general opinion is that Carrie would have thought about the show's culture, should have thought about the show's culture and network values before jumping into such a major role while under contract. Carrie told fans she was honored to have been asked, blah, blah, blah. We already know. So, yeah. So there's that. But, so we have that. But I'm like, where's the other article so we could wrap this up? Where she actually speaks out. Because I'm like, well, while we're here, we might as well just put all this in a bow. So yeah, so now they're saying that she broke her social media silence after the Donald Trump inauguration performance was hit by technical difficulties. The star promoted her upcoming concert as she shared a grab from it with the caption, "Tomorrow, check out the hashtag Reflection Concert special on at Hulu and hashtag Hulu on Disney Plus, hashtag See You in Vegas, gem emoji." So she broke her silence, but she said a bunch of damn nothing. Where she's promoting a program that she has coming out on Hulu and Disney. So there's that. So this has sparked a little bit of divisiveness. I do believe there might be a little bit of truth in this story. Me personally, like I told you, I haven't watched American Idol in years, so I don't know what it entails. I don't really care about the upcoming season, but I do care for the people who are the diverse people who are going to be a part of this show that want to basically, um, you know, do their thing and have that moment. Why is my screen frozen? So hold on. So whatever. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. What screen? I don't know what's going on. And I don't want to end the hold on, let me refresh real quick. Are we back? I was like, what the hell happened? Um, well, look, I got most of the pictures and everything, and I was like, wait a minute, my whole damn screen froze. But look, y'all got the gist of the situation. I was frozen. The thing was in there. I was like, let me refresh. I don't know what happened. I think it's because I had that Daily Mail article open, and it was causing like freezations. And this is why a lot of times I take the articles and I compress it and stuff down so that way I could give it to y'all on here. So, um. So let's get to the question. So they said 2015, I mean, she also dropped the Dead Pets album after the show. Also, Lagonda, Gia, Alyssa, Vivacious, Shangela, and Violet were performing along with her. I remember that. And there were a bunch of other queens, but those five were closest to her. I would love to see Carrie on Drag Race. Her career needs a boost from the gay. Well, she definitely going to need a little homosexual depression. I mean, revitalization. And yet, underwear, as you know, cause Idol to wave red flags and go into crisis mode. There was a rumor Carrie's song "Good Girl" was going to be used for All Stars 9, but it wasn't true. Before he cheats would eat. Well, thank you. Not a mugshot. He's about some yay. Okay, so yeah, I was like, damn it, my damn screen was frozen, but whatever. Yeah, as long as y'all heard me talk, then we good to go. Okay, so how many more topics we got? All right, so we got 4 more topics to go until we're done with the show. So before we get to said topics, if you can, do me a solid and hit the like button and subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Okay, so now without further ado, let's talk about Miss Bussy, who, since we're on this Trump train, is out here shucking and jiving for a damn pardon. What is up with all y'all? First of all, Trump ain't giving you no damn pardon. You don't know who the hell you are. Like, you're not even on a level of like a Snoop Dogg or Rick Ross in that gut. So you like bottom of the barrel hip hop star or artist. So you're not getting no pardon. You gonna have to deal with the shit you gonna have to deal with. You can't give Trump nothing. He can get nothing. But anyway, let's get into it. So hip hop hood booger Bussy took to social media to respond to the backlash over him begging Donald Trump for a pardon like a slave begging his master to set his ass free. So now talking to Twitter just a few hours after or taking to Twitter, I should say, just a few hours after posting about the idea of a pardon, Bussy fired back at critics of his move. Now y'all gonna have to brace yourselves because I ain't seen so many damn ignorant ass misspellings in my life. He couldn't spell damn right. He didn't use it was just so many misspellings and stuff up in here. It's just, okay, so he put damn I ain't no and even spelled no wrong. Apparently no K-N-O-W is N-O. But anyway, let's get into it because you already know. Spelling teacher, Mrs. Spelling Bee, I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna be irritated reading this. But let's get to it. Damn, I ain't know so many people don't want me to be pardoned. That's what he wrote in all caps, thinking he Kanye. He said, this social media world would rather see you fall than be great. And not just with me, with any famous person. You better know that as soon as you get into some shit, they gonna kick you. They go kick you way harder when you down than they lift you up. Well, he said lifted you up when you was up. We gotta stay out of trouble. People want you in prison away from your kids. Hashtag it's funny to them because they have never been. So whatever it was that you did is our fault because you got caught up in a gun charge. That's our fault. That's not your fault. Because we want to see you down on the ground. I mean, child, you a hood booger. So yes, we do want to see you down in that sense. But for the most part, own your shit is what people are trying to say. But now you over here running, shucking, and jiving to Donald Trump for a damn pardon. So now, shortly after, Bussy followed up in another post on the platform. And one more thing. It's not even A and D, it's letter N. One more thing. Not even thing, it's thing. Y'all saying I shouldn't ask for a pardon. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna keep asking. This my life. I asked Biden for 1 month ago. Now I'm asking Trump. Where I'm from, closed mouths don't. This is just laughable. My case was already dismissed. I deserve a pardon. No, you don't. Who the hell said that you deserve anything? And no, nothing is promised to you, sir, or any of us. Hashtag argue with your mama. Didn't even spell mama right. M-O-M-A. It wasn't the first time Bussy requested a pardon, having done so back in November, less than 24 hours after Trump defeated Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election. And they said since his inauguration on Monday, Trump has been active in handing out pardons. He's forgiven charges against a massive number of people. And here's the thing. If you were at the insurrection, maybe you would have gotten yourself a pardon. Because that's all Trump cares about. Those who are loyal to him. He doesn't know you. He doesn't, there's no risk, no reward situation with you and him. Do you not realize how this man works? How he thinks? So you asking him and begging for a pardon, you just out here looking like boo the damn fool. He don't care about you. So you're just going to keep begging and you're just going to keep falling on deaf ears. And then the only way that it'll get mentioned is like, yeah, when myself and all the blogs and stuff are bringing it up to talk about. And he's so busy trying to change the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. So that's what he's trying to do. And denying everybody else rights in this country. So yeah, there's that. This shit is stupid. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think that Donald Trump is going to give Bussy MadAzz a pardon if he keeps begging? You know, that man, is he going to weigh him down like Steve Urkel eventually wore down Laura Winslow? Let me know in the comments down below. Alex says, I saw Joe Exotic try to beg for a pardon. His Instagram account posted, you forgot me. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. Don't he? Isn't he engaged to be married to some dude, and he trying to get him transferred over to his prison or something or another? I think we talked about that on the show. But anyway, so all right, so now let's move on and talk about the Diddler, who I'm surprised he ain't begging for a damn pardon. But I guess you got to go through the system first. So look, I already knew this was eventually gonna come, and we're here with and it's here. So Sean Combs has filed a defamation lawsuit against News Nation parent company Nexstar and Courtney Burgess, who was subpoenaed by federal prosecutors to testify in front of a grand jury considering additional charges against the rap mogul over alleged videos depicting sexual encounters involved with other celebrities. So yeah, that's why I was saying y'all need to be careful when y'all going on these shows like News Nation and y'all sitting down doing interviews with all these other these documentaries and all this other stuff. Because if y'all get called to the chambers, if y'all get called on the stand and you have to testify, then here we are. And now you are here spilling tea. And now he filing lawsuits. So the suit filed, well, yesterday was actually, they said today in New York, names Courtney Burgess, who was subpoenaed for grand jury testimony in Combs' case. His attorney, Ariel Mitchell, and Nexstar Media, which operates News Nation, Combs' lawyers outlined their assertions and described them as outrageous lies, stating that any explicit tapes they claim to possess do not exist. They said Sean Diddy Combs is taking a stand against the malicious falsehoods that have been fabricated and amplified by individuals seeking to profit at his expense. This is according to Erica Wolf, Combs' attorney, in a statement shared with Variety. These defendants have willfully fabricated and disseminated outrageous lies and reckless disregard for the truth. Their falsehoods have poisoned public perception and contaminated the jury pool. This complaint should serve as a warning that such intentional falsehoods, which undermine Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial, will no longer be tolerated. And you want to know something? If you're going to file it, I don't feel no way sad about it, because here's the thing. Now, while I truly believe that Diddy has done some horrible things to a lot of people in the 30 plus years, I was going to say 3 decades, that make it easier. In the 3+ decades that he has been moguling in the music world, I do feel like those people should get justice. But I also feel there are some people in the mist and in the mix that are looking at this as an opportunity for payday and are doing this exploitive stuff on these news channels with these white folks, where I think there's like a little racist tint to what y'all out here doing. We are trying to get in the mix of the thing so that way y'all can exploit and say that these things happen and this one's got this tape and these freak offs happen here and all this other stuff. Because according to some people, there was like not all the white parties turned into a freak off. So, if they feel like they have a case where somebody's up there completely fabricating stuff for attention and a payday, then yeah, take their ass to court. So now Burgess, who has described himself as a music industry veteran, has publicly made claims that the late Kim Porter, the mother of 4 of Combs' children, gave him illicit tapes of Combs as well as a copy of her memoir. Oh yeah, that was the one. Wasn't he the one that came out with that book? That they were saying that y'all need to return the sender? The suit claims that Burgess never met Combs, something Burgess himself has stated, and that Porter's children and roommate of over 20 years had never heard of Burgess. The complaint singles out on October 2024 Atwood Unleashed podcast appearance, where Burgess said that Porter approached him through an intermediary to provide him with the materials, including a photo of Justin Bieber kissing an unidentified male. Was it Trey Songz, allegedly? Remember that video that's been floating around on social media where it looked like he was giving him a little baloney wash? I think who else was in that video? I think it was like another rapper or something on there. But anyway, so now on the podcast, Burgess said that the photo was definitely real and described Combs as Lucifer, which I've always called him the devil. further suggesting that he engaged in misconduct with minors. The suit also alleges that Burgess peddled a false Porter memoir on Amazon, which was removed from the site after it was denounced by Porter's family. Now, Mitchell, who the suit claims teamed with Burgess around September 2024, is named alongside News Nation for a TV interview conducted that same month. Since last summer, Mitchell has filed several lawsuits on behalf of clients accusing Combs of SA and most recently appeared in Peacock's Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy documentary, which I did see, and I kind of gave you my overall assessment. I just felt like I didn't learn really much, anything relatively new from that documentary. Now, the suit describes Mitchell as an attorney who has filed high-profile cases against artists including Chris Brown and Trey Songz, which we already talked about yesterday. Chris Brown is suing for that docuseries that they made on him over on Max. He's suing for $500 million, $500 million. I don't think he'll get that much, but he'll get something. We'll see. So reps for Combs claim that during the News Nation interview, she stated that there were already been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, which I don't understand. Why haven't we heard if any of this stuff, if this is true, how come the videos haven't gotten out yet? That's what I'm wondering. And it's been a while, too. And they said, and presumably refer to Burgess as an affiliate by stating that one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became public knowledge. Mitchell said that Combs was in the Rise with Corn O-graphic tape and that another person in it was more high profile than Mr. Combs, stating that the video exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. The News Nation host replied that it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well, which Mitchell confirmed. During the interview, Mitchell also claimed that she had a police report for another client who claimed Combs assaulted her in 2018. 2 weeks after the News Nation appearance, Mitchell filed suit without the report, and local police determined the claims were unfounded and they had been involved in the allegations. So now Combs. So now we got one more paragraph. We good. Well, it's at the end. So they said the complaint also points out that a News Nation interview with Mitchell that Burgess that aired in October 2024, conducted shortly after the latter reportedly testified before a federal grand jury. Burgess previously made claims in the interview, and the News Nation host claimed to know the names of 8 celebrities who appeared on 8 different videos. The suit states that the News Nation host knew this was false, or at a minimum, recklessly disregarded whether the statements were true or false because she had never seen such videos because they do not exist. Now, Combs, who is currently incarcerated, is seeking $50 million in damages and further relief. Well, look, I already said that News Nation is basically a light version of Fox News, so I wouldn't be surprised if they was out here laying low and making stuff up for attention and ratings on their channel, because the only time I've seen News Nation on anything is like if somebody's using them as reference, like if I'm watching any political progressives on YouTube that are using their clips to kind of combat against or use what they're saying or whatever to drive home a point, or sometimes I'll be at the gym. Well, when I used to go to this gym over on Fulton Street, they used to have News Nation on a lot. Now the gym I go to, which is in Chelsea, they don't really have it on there. They'll have it on other more liberal-facing channels. But the one over in Fulton Street always had on the conservative channels, which always kind of was like, for why? I think I don't want to say it. Is it depending on the location? Y'all be a little conservative versus liberal? Like, I don't know. But I've seen News Nation on before when I'm working out and stuff on the little flat screens above my head and all that stuff. So there you have it. This is the latest on the diddler. And we'll see if he has a valid case. But I do feel like, you know what? We need to stop this guilty until proven innocent thing. Like, do I think that Diddy is innocent in all of this? No. I do believe that somewhere there lies, he's done a lot of crazy, shady shit to a lot of people in the 30 years he's been moguling in the music business. But he doesn't have a right to a fair trial. A lot of these people coming out with like 8 damn docuseries and documentaries. It's like, y'all getting on my damn nerves. It's like y'all trying to beat us over the head with all this stuff. And then by the time he actually goes to trial, I feel like it's going to probably be hard for them to even find like a unbiased jury, because they're probably going to be beaten down with so much of this information that's out. And you can't deny it with social media that, it might affect them when they're up there listening to the evidence and as this case is going on. So we'll see how this all works out when, this whole thing unfolds in the next couple of months. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding the latest on Diddy filing a $50 million defamation suit over them saying that there were that the assaults were recorded and then they were shopping around the videos. So whatever your thoughts on this, let me know in the comments down below. Rose says, random question. Y'all think Ryan Reynolds is Oh, so I was gonna say, are you watching like the beginning? He's probably a big dick bottom. I've encountered plenty of those. He definitely gives me that. The stories I heard about Hugh Jackman ain't no bottom. Information overload played into Trump's hand. Absolutely, because he just been like, it's just I was like, if he gives you like 30, shitty things that he's doing throughout the day, you're so beaten down by it. It's sort of like it's just like I'm exhausted. And that's how it's literally not even a week into his presidency. And I'm already exhausted from the bullshit. So it's working. He's doing what he's doing, but we just got to remember, keep our eye. We got to be focused. We got to keep our eye on the ball, and do what we got to do. Inform the people. If Trump was involved, he'll be part of it. Okay, it's funny how like the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation, which surprisingly nobody's even mentioning Jeffrey Epstein. The Diddy story just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Yeah, that's the latest on that mess. Okay. Now, let's get into some homosexual news and let's talk about RuPaul's Drag Race. So, the other day, we did talk about Lucky Stars, where she basically sat down with Entertainment Weekly and she talked about her shocking exit and how she was feeling ugly and all this other stuff. But now she is opening up about her complex relationship with Drag Race alum Nina Bonina Brown. Because I saw this floating over there on Reddit. So I was like, oh, this would be a good one. But Nina Bonina Brown actually took to, I think she was on her YouTube channel and somebody, I guess, recorded it and posted it on the TikTok. So I actually have that video. We'll play it and then we'll come back and we'll do Lucky's opinion or what she had to say in the Entertainment Weekly interview, and then I'll give my opinion and then I'll get y'all's opinion. Please hold.
Hey, Lucky. This is I feel like I hate to do this because I don't want to like cause any drama that's going to be going towards him or his page. It should be about him celebrating the moment right now, right? So, but it's just for me to, so I can put anything out because people are going to be coming to my page, and they have been coming to my page before asking me, "Is this your daughter?" Da 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 da. So I need to go ahead and clarify some things, some things that should be between us, but I feel like because we don't talk, that I need to put it out there now. Lucky Star, so as I know him, a line. I never claimed any children. I never really did, but people, we always would have this thing of like, yeah, he's my sort of kind of daughter, but then like as time went on, years go on, I kind of did start seeing him more, I started being more open to it. Like, okay, I guess it's my child, I guess, and y'all don't know that I've known this person for a while. And before they even were considering doing drag or anything like that, and they allegedly, I'm saying allegedly now because it's hard to see who this person is now, were so inspired by me, that's what got them interested in doing art and doing their kind of looks and makeup because they saw me on Drag Race. And am I lying or like am I making things up just so people can know?
No, this is completely true. He's voiced this many times that, you've been like one of his inspirations. You look into his older work as well too. He's worked with the paper heads as well. And he even tagged you, Pierre, like in one of his first posts saying inspired by Nina Bonina Brown. And I'm not sure if that post may still be up or not, but, you know, I feel like you were his introduction into what drag could be for him.
Mm-hmm. Knowing a lot about this person, you know, like just family, all kind of things or whatever. So I'm trying to say things without having to say everything, but pretty much me and this person aren't talking anymore. I don't talk to them. They don't talk to me. So it's very unfortunate because this was supposed to be a moment where I'm supposed to be excited, you know, like watching this and being like, oh my God, I can't, like, oh my God. But it has been not excited at all for me at all. Like, where I'm kind of just like, whatever. Unfortunately, you know, I don't, like, of course, I'm still like happy for them, you know, that they're living their dream. But basically, in a nutshell, I feel like this person has got on TV or was getting on TV, started acting brand new, like people do. And they don't need the people who were there before they became who they were. And I feel like that's what happened. In a nutshell, and you know, if y'all want more, it's more I can say, but I'm gonna just like leave it at that. That this is unfortunately not a exciting time for me when it should be, but it's not, you know, because this is not the person who I knew. You know, this is a different person now. But it's okay because they have new drag moms now, and people. They have a lot of.
So basically, that's it. Based on what I got from that is that she feels that once she got on the show and is this shit freezing again? It says my browser has lost connection with my screen share audio. Hold on. Y'all can hear me, right? Just got to double check because I'm like, look, I don't know. Technical situations is going on today. So, what I've gotten from this is basically that Nina wasn't really looking for a drag daughter. She saw like that Lucky was looking up to her as like a drag mom or a mentor or something or another. And then she didn't really want to kind of take somebody up under her wing, but because she was, I guess, being around a lot, then she's like, you know what, let me just help out a little bit. And then once she got cast on the show, she was acting, oh, thank you. I was like, let me double check. She was acting brand new. And I guess she was feeling like she didn't want no parts of her. So Lucky went over to Entertainment Weekly and did an interview. And here's what she said on her relationship with Nina Bonita Brown. Because, you know, we always got to give both sides. She said, I was her sort of drag daughter. I always saw her as my drag mom and mentor. But things changed when I got cast. We've had our ups and downs. When I auditioned, we weren't talking. She helped me with my audition tape, but when the audition period started, we weren't talking. So I wasn't going to ask her, hey, help me with this audition. She was a support system when we started talking again. When I finally got the final call, she was supposed to help me prepare, but she kind of didn't, and I was mad. I tried to reach out to her, but it's like, why am I reaching out to you about your problem? It was just a bunch of weird, petty, dumb stuff. I didn't have time for that. I went, filmed, came back. I called her again, but I got so busy. Eventually, she unfollowed me. It was like a whole mess that didn't have to be so messy. I spoke to her like 3 days ago, actually, after months of not talking. I just want to be cordial. We're cordial, I think, I hope. I don't mind, though. I'm not sitting here sobbing about it. It is what it is. I still have a lot of respect for her and respect for her art. I'm always going to be a fan, but I don't know drag daughter / mother. I consider myself to be her drag abortion. I say that in a fun way. So, yeah, so that's basically what she says their relationship is. You know, it's sad that it's gotten to this point, but you already know, look, see, now this is kind of taking me back to the days of when Nina Bonita Brown was actually on her season of Drag Race, and it did feel like there was like this overwhelming sense of insecurity on her part when she was going through it, and everybody had to kind of like coddle her and oh, you know, make her feel, you know, grandiose about how she was feeling. So I'm hoping that those insecurities wasn't coming into that place because, you know, somebody who looked up to you was actually going on to the show, and maybe it was triggering in a lot of ways because maybe you didn't have the best experience of when you went on Drag Race. But my experience of being on Drag Race, this is just how I am. If I had gone through an experience of being on Drag Race, if you were coming up to me wanting to know some stuff, I would give you some advice on what you to look out for. I mean, yeah, the show has changed over the years, but I'm sure the foundation remains the same. And I would try to give you a little advice so that way you know what you're in for when you go on the show. So, excuse me. I hope that they get it together. I hope that they work it on out. And it's like, yeah, even if y'all don't, if you're not close anymore, it's just like if I see you out in the street, hey girl, and then you say, hey girl, and we just keep it moving. So that's the way it'll be, because look, everybody ain't your friend out here in these streets. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of, Lucky Starzzz and Nina Brown? Because I knew, like, based off of their whole aesthetic, a lot of people would compare what Lucky does to what Nina Brown does, because their artwork is similar in regards of how they use this unconventional style of drag to make their clothes. She's not a fabric queen. She makes a lot of her stuff and just, puts it on her and creates it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. Hold on. You said like these. Oh yeah, all that. It's funny because I said another day, another school pow, and people was like, "Where? Do y'all not have the internet? Like, you on Facebook, you on social media, asking me where?" I'm like, "Do y'all not pay attention? It's in fucking Tennessee, so I got to tell you where's that too, and who was who the victims was? Like, I'm not TMZ. I mean, it's funny I say that, but I do be doing stuff like I am TMZ on this show. I wasn't TMZ in that moment. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. Whose supporters are pissed that Reddit's blog/groups are banning X links and posts. They were fine, but after what Felon did on Monday is deleting X, going to Blue Sky. Blue Sky has no ads. I never really paid attention to the fact that Blue Sky has no ads, but I already told them, Blue Sky, you need to catch up where you could allow longer form videos or even live streaming and all that other stuff on there. Because if I could get the opportunity of live streaming my show from Blue Sky, that would be lit, and it will actually blow up my followers even more. But I don't really, even though I have Blue Sky, I don't really be engaging on it as much. I did go back on there yesterday and started posting stuff. So, because I be forgetting, there be so many damn apps, that I be having to keep track of. It's hard sometimes. Nina is my favorite queen from the show. To have her as a drag mother will be an honor. I like Nina Brown. Oh, that was like when Echo was given the green light. Y'all can hear me. Lucky said they fell off around the time her audition tape was being made. By the time she came back from filming, they fell off. Yeah. Well, now I say it. When they can afford because it's small, which they can afford because it's small, but it's expected it's going to be huge, and they'll need ads to keep servers alive. We'll see. She kind of didn't, but according to Nina, they had conversations about choosing drag race or drag. Well, yeah, I did hear the thing about her going on Dragula. Who knows? Maybe she could go on Dragula. We've seen it many a times with queens of Drag Race have gone on Dragula. So, and I'm trying to remember, did anybody from Dragula ever go on Drag Race? I don't think so. I think it's always been Drag Race queens going Dragula. And it's fine. If you could do both, that's great. Maybe it was mentioned Trump's birthright citizenship order temporary blocked by a federal judge. Oh yeah. It wasn't mentioned, but yes, that did happen. So I'm glad there are some people resisting. First, we got the bishop who went and had to tell him about himself, and he was all in his damn sensitive ass feelings regarding that. Calling her, she doing a horrible job. I'm like, sir, how is a bishop of a church asking you for compassion doing a horrible job? You're doing a horrible job as a president, but you was also a horrible real estate developer. Quiet as it's kept. For those of us who actually are from New York and is aware of the grift that Trump was all about and an embarrassment, and people didn't take his ass seriously when he was here. But yeah, the birthright citizenship stuff was blocked. So that's what we have to just keep doing. We have to have people, who can push and resist against the bullshit. The person was radicalized by Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes. See, and it's funny, I gave Candace her flowers earlier for posting that Ryan Reynolds tea, and now I gotta, read her for, this mess. I'm excited Demi being exactly. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. That was the first part of the show when we talked about the Oscars. Well, actually, it wasn't, because I had to go in and bring y'all that breaking news about Ryan Reynolds and Justin Baldoni and all that stuff he was doing behind the scenes. Because that people don't really understand that art school drama. but trust that the girls be copying and wanting to be proteges for our nachos, but then move on once they stop. Well, you know what? I think maybe that's probably what Nina was feeling. Because, I always say imitation is a sincerest form of flattery. So maybe in so many ways, the way they was looking at it was Nina probably felt that Lucky was inspired by her, but was doing a little bit of what you said, all about ETs. And I do love that movie. All About Eve. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is another one of my favorites. Oh my God, what was the other movie with Rosalind Russell? I just saw that on Tubi the other day, and it escaped my mind. Auntie Mame, I love that freaking movie too. Yeah, I love old classic movies from the 50s. I have my moments. I diversify. Horrible and because when she reads Vera, that was always my favorite scenes in that movie. It was a horrible in many areas, including marriages. That part. When Lucky walked in the first episode, I saw the similarities. I love the interest. Yeah, and that's why I like when I saw her on the red carpet blue carpet, because that's what they had when I went to the Drag Race premiere. She came out like this big old yellow caterpillar. I was living for that, and they had red pumps on the feet. I was living for that. All right, so let's move on to our final topic, and let's talk about some homosexuals. Let's get into these adult cinematography awards. So the GayVNs happened on Monday night. And what was it? It happened at the theater at Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas. So adult entertainers around the world all headed to Las Vegas to celebrate the hottest content created throughout the year. So there was some big winners, not Ivy Winters, Amy Winters. So yeah, there was some big winners on the GayVNs, and somebody even threw in like a Austin Wolf comment, but we'll get to that in a second. Once I get through these categories. So they said adult entertainers, shout out to Pride for this, around the world, headed to Las Vegas. They said with plenty of spicy categories awaiting the biggest and awarding the biggest and brightest and Rise with Corn. The annual Sin City event is the best opportunity to get up close and personal with the top contender content creators. Now, some of the big winners, Raheem Shabazz, he won for a second year in a row. He won Performer of the Year at the GayVN Awards. He also secured an award for Best Duo Sex Scene alongside Sir Peter. It's no surprise that the sexy hunk continues to reign in adult entertainment as his spicy content continues to dominate worldwide. He said it will be surreal to win again, but it will be motivating. It would let me know I'm on the right track. I'm appreciative of everything I've gotten so far. Is not a must. I'm looking forward to 2025 and whatever opportunities come. So I like Raheem Shabazz because, sexy chocolate black man, and he puts out a lot of really good content, and he's worked with my friend Nico. Nico, what do you mean? Nico from Nico Aesthetics, they've done a lot of stuff together. He is very popular in Brazil, by the way. The Brazilian boys love them some Nico. And he's out here doing his thing. And the one thing is, when I looked over on his Instagram where they showed him winning the award, yeah, this one. The people's in the comments, they said crown it from Willem responded. And y'all, for those of you who don't know, Raheem Shabazz is actually a judge on Willem's upcoming show that he's doing for Out TV. I forget the name of the show, but it's supposed to be like a go-go dancing type show. Because remember, once upon a time, Johnny McGovern had that horrible ass show for 2 seasons called Go for the Gold, and now Raheem Shabazz is a judge on that show, and I believe Willem is the host / judge. So I'm actually looking forward to that show and seeing what it gives. So yeah, Willem was in the comments. Guys of America said this, and this is where I was like, "Ooh, why you had to hit Austin Wolf with that string?" They say it's good Austin Wolf is in jail because otherwise he would have won again with the amount of lobby his management did every year. I'm like, wait a minute, what is the T on that? I think they meant amount of lobbying. I think that's what they meant. But I'm like, what's the T on that? I want to know. Oh wait, I'm not following Falcon. I had to follow them real quick. Look at me up in here to following sites. Well, I'm supposed to be talking to y'all, but I was like, I didn't know that there was a lot of shenanigans going on behind the scenes in regards of him getting his awards. But it makes sense because Austin Wolf at the time was one of the biggest content creators in the industry. And based off of his overall look and, him being white and tall and muscular, because I've run into Austin Wolf quite a few times, us both living in New York. Our gyms are pretty much in the same area. So I've run into him and seen like, yeah, he is tall. And I'm like, I hope you don't recognize me because I've talked about him. So I was hoping that was going to happen. And that was the week literally before he got arrested. That was the last time I ran into him. And he was on his way to Gym U, and I was heading the opposite way. So, yeah, he won. And then Kate Maddox also had a big night at the Gay VNs. The model took home, they said he earned the most amount of awards in the fan voted categories for winning favorite park, favorite body, and favorite top. So here's his picture on Instagram looking like a snack. He said, it's an honor, especially how long I've been doing this. It's an honor to still be nominated with the young meat that's still coming up. Not the young meat, but it's even cooler to win something. The big honor of just being nominated. So now, last but certainly not least, they said he may be one of the youngest gay Rise with Corn stars out there, but Drake Vaughn is now adding 2 more trophies to his shelf of accolades. Did Drake Vaughn just do a scene? What's that big girl? The black one, the one that be basically just like sucking down people's peens like a damn vacuum cleaner. I think he just did a damn scene with him. I saw that floating on the Twitter. Yes, honey, I still got Twitter. But so yeah, there's Drake Vaughn, and they basically said that the star won favorite twink and hottest all-male creator collab at this year's awards, saying, honestly, this has probably been the best Gay VN award so far. I've had such an amazing time seeing all of my close friends. It's been such a great year for me. I couldn't have asked for a better year. This is according to Drake Vaughn. Yeah, you've definitely been having a good year. And I like Drake Vaughn. Little old thing with a big old thing. I'm talking about little in height, but big and, between me down there. And so I should also give a shout out to Boomer Banks, who was a Hall of Fame honoree. So yeah, so basically he got it. Here is Boomer Banks up there receiving his. I wonder if he's wearing Banks since he was promoting that a lot on, X-Rated NYC. Or was that just a storyline? So the gay winners are as follows. Best Actor, Bastian Kareem, The Mafia, done by Stag Home. I know Stag Home was still around. I used to live for their content. Best Actor, Michael Jackman. Not Michael Jackman. Scream Cream. Yo, these titles. This is what I live for in adult performances. Best all-sex movie, Cherry Twinks by Helix. Best bi-sex scene, Bisexia, Stepdad Goes Wild, WannaBuy.com, starring Trevor Brooks, Jewel Diamont, and Reese Rideout. Now, best directing feature, Ben Rush, Bread and Breakfast, All the Way In. And that's all the way INN. Yo, I cannot. By Naked Sword Originals. Best Directing Featurette, Alter Sin, Prisoner of War, 10 Years Later, by Men.com. And then we have, what else? Best Directing Non-Feature, Jerome Exuperi, Marty Stevens and Alter Sin, Casa Delamore. House of Bellamy, Parts 1 by Bellamy. Best DP Scene, Bread and Breakfast 2, All the Way In. Naked Sword Originals, Heath Halo, Hazel Hoffman, and Sean Xavier. Best Duo Sex Scene, Sir Peter and Raheem, The Main Event Part 2 by Naked Sword Originals. Best Feature, Heart On by Naked Sword Originals. Best Feature, Prison of War, 10 Years Later, Men.com, Alan King and Patty O'Brien. Best Fetish Scene, What's Your King? CockyBoys.com, Oliver Carter and Lane Colton. Best Group Sex Scene, A Fun Orgy of Debauchery, Voyeur.com, and that's VOYR.com. Liam Arnold's Marlon Costa, Well Cruz, Jonatas, Gael Kriok, Rafael Silva, and Markeen Wolf. Best Newcomer goes to Matthew Ellis. Best Oral Scene, The Beach House, Raging Stallion, featuring Bo Butler, Ryder Flynn, Heath Halo, and Cole Ryan. Best Screenplay, Ben Rush, Heart On by Naked Sword Originals. Best Supporting Actor, Ty Roderick, The Iron Pa by SayUncle.com. Best Supporting Actor, Featurette, Alan King, Prison of War, 10 Years Later. From men.com, best three-way sex scene, sharing is caring, guysinsweatpants.com, James Cassidy, sorry, Bryce, Jax, and Austin Wilde. And Performer of the Year goes to Raheem Shabazz. Now, we have Best Voted GayN Awards. And that's the people that, y'all got y'all faves. And, good on y'all. Best favorite cop went to Cade Maddox. Favorite body went to Cade Maddox. Favorite top went to Cade Maddox. Hottest all-male creator collab, Drake Vaughn and Jaden Marcos. Favorite porn star creator, Dom King. Favorite cam/creator couple, Bo Butler and Nick Butler. Hottest porn newcomer, Santana XXL. That's who it was that did the video with Drake Vaughn. I saw that video. I'm like, what are y'all doing up in here? And Santana be sucking on them peens like a damn hoover. I'm like, damn, you just be, and he be having them boys looking possessed in them videos. I'm sure y'all have seen them. I'm over here spilling all my tea. But anyway, so favorite bear goes to Bo Butler. Is Bo Butler a bear though? He's like a muscle daddy, but I don't see Bo Butler being a bear. He's hot though. Favorite dom, Malik Delgado. Favorite butt goes to Matthew Ellis. Favorite indie creator, Santana XXL. You want to know something? I got to give it up to Santana because he's like in the big leagues now. Because normally people wouldn't look at somebody that looks like Santana XXL and he would be actually in the room with those types. But I love where his career is. So I'm here for the diversity. Favorite twink goes to Drake Vaughn. Favorite bottom, Matthew Ellis. Favorite cam guy, Sky Knox. Favorite daddy goes to Sir Peter. Favorite trans mass star, Noah Way. And favorite versatile, Roman Todd. So there are your nominees of the people out here who is providing a lot of entertainment for your spank bank. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are regarding all the people that we have here that, have been basically keeping y'all entertained for the duration of 2024. Who do you think, are you excited about who, were nominated, who won? Who do you wish won? Who were your favorites? What were your favorites? I definitely want to know. So throw it down in the comments. Put it in the comments down below. Okay. Ron says, I think Raheem is the first Black male woman performer of the year back to back. Yes, he is. And you want to know something? He also was the very first performer to garner 1 million followers on Twitter. Before I think they did something to his his Twitter page, and he lost the followers. There was something that went down because I remember it was him, and then it was oh my God, who was the other one? It was the Spanish dude. Brazilian, that be walking around here doing all these public videos. But Raheem Shabazz has been around for a long time. He definitely was, he was the first person to garner all those followers. And so, shout out to him. Cade Maddox needs to leave the Botox. Cade looks like he's one Kim Flash away from passing out. Ooh, y'all just reading him up in here. Hopefully Korn will still be here with his product. Okay. Oh, see, look. Are you telling me? Because it was like, you know exactly who I was talking about when I was talking about, he did a video with Drake. His name is Santana, XXL. Malik Delgado and Drake Vaughn should get more credit for 21st century born and having so much love and respect in the industry. Drake was 1 month away from turning 2 when I was born. Ooh. Yeah, because they're so young up in this business, but hopefully they got a good head on their shoulders. It's good to see, in the midst of, JFF, OF, and all these other sites where people are going over there creating their own little platforms and avenues to give people entertainment of the sexual kind, that, the mainstream industry is still around and they're still doing their thing. And as somebody who loves X-rated NYC, I don't know what's going on with LA. I just really hope that they expand beyond that franchise and they kind of bring some real stuff up in there where we could see how they move and shake through this business and living their lives and stuff. That's what they should be doing with that. But sometimes I be watching X-rated NYC and it be feeling like it be feeling a little too scripted for me when I be watching it. So yeah. So shout out to y'all. And shout out to those y'all that are watching, because I want to say we are at the end of today's show. So I want to thank you all for watching and tuning in. Wait, Ron says Dylan Diaz need to win some awards at the GayN. Wait, hold on. I need to look him up. Who is that? I probably do know who that is. Oh, yeah, I know her. Oh, he cute. How you doing? Yeah, he should win some. What is it? I mean, what is well, he has I'm gonna say he has appeared at the GayNs. Brown skin. Come on now. Yeah, he is a good looking man. But anyway, so we're at the end of the show. Thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please, if you have not already, do that, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. So I'm going to be pretty busy this weekend, so I will be back on this show. I'll be here on Monday with some brand new tea to spill for y'all, the latest celebrity news and gossip. So be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, I love you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in and commenting in the comments. And until next time, ciao, darlings. Oh, he is? He says married to Jake Waters. Okay. I'm thinking I see the picture of them kissing. So, yeah. So, bye, bitches. That should be my new outro. Bye, bitches.